Morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, it is. It is Old School. Welcome in here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Hope everyone's staying safe, happy, healthy, and warm in these few days here post-Christmas. Thanks for making us a part of your day as always. 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of the show, you can on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Jay Foreman, I got to tell you, that prime rib from the Mercado, oh yeah, it hit. It was hitting.
Did you cook it or...
Come on, Jay. Come on.
That's why it was hitting.
Come on.
Because you know when you cook it, you can't eat as much.
That part.
It always tastes better when somebody else is cooking for you.
It sure does. I do have to tell you, Jay, it's not high end or anything, but Christmas at the in-laws, I was gifted a charcoal smoker for Christmas.
Oh,
I didn't
have
matter,
but what the high end is just the fact that you got a smoker. You on your way.
I'm on my way. I have yet to break it out. Obviously, it's a little chilly. Didn't have the briquettes for it or anything, but I have to tell you, pulled pork, it's coming.
Oh, I know.
Brisket.
I know exactly when was your birthday?
Actually, in 6 months. It's my half birthday today. Thanks for asking.
Well, we might get you a birthday present and my birthday, New Year's present.
Deal.
Yeah. You well on your way, man. There's nothing like getting your first grill.
I have a grill, man. just a smoker.
Yeah, your first, but that's when you really, everybody has a grill, but get your first smoker.
Yeah.
Now now you'll understand, especially now you got a little one.
Mm-hmm.
Just put your little AirPods in, try to get them to sleep, and then you just sit there and watch the cooking videos. I'll send you. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
You got my digits.
You well on your way.
Well, what is the first? Do I have to start with like a pulled pork? Is that simple enough, or should I go bigger for the first thing I smoke?
Depends on what you like. Pulled pork is pretty easy. It's foolproof. I know.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, so let's not say that too loud.
A little time consuming. You just got to make sure you get the temperature right, and depending on the grill, you got to do some research on. And plus, it's going to take a little while for you to get it seasoned and stuff. So you'll know your equipment. But
you think I season my meat? Yeah, I season my meat.
Yeah, you season your meat, but I don't know about your grilling skills yet. So I think I think it's just going to take some time. Nobody starts off as an A1 griller. I'm not even that as well. There's guys that obviously probably better on the grill than I am, but I enjoy it though.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Getting outside, kicking your feet up.
And trust me, you got family. They'll be your harshest critics. Don't worry about it. You'll know whether then once you get past them, then you'll be able to take your skills out anywhere.
Here's the issue though, is so my dad did most of the grilling, obviously on my side. Mom could fire it up a little bit. I'm just learning, but my father-in-law, he's got like a custom smoker.
Yeah.
Took a vacation just this last fall, like the barbecue tour. He's all into it. So I'm asking for his help, like to get started because he has the most experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be a day where I'm going to be audacious enough to try to bring some meat that I smoked up to the in-laws. There's going to be a comparison that's not going to go my way.
That's all right. That's the only way that you get good at it. I mean, I remember the first time that I ventured off on my own. My dad was in town. I think he wrote down all the things I needed to do better. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was a periodic. Right. So yeah, but I mean that's good because I grew up watching my dad, my grandfather first, my grandfather learned when he served, so they had to find a way they had to make some, essentially chicken salad out of chicken, they didn't have a lot of supplies. And so he taught my dad and my uncles and, obviously distant, relatives, close relatives, and then just went off from there.
My biggest issue I can tell you already is going to be the patience. I am such a micromanager. I'm going to want to open that smoker door all the time to check on it. And I have to resist the temptation.
You got to trust it.
I'm so bad at that.
But I got a see, that used to be the problem. But now, once you know how to set your coals and get the temperature where you're at, and when that comes from knowing your grill, also knowing the type of coals that you want or that you use, there's different types there. You got a whole bunch of issues.
Man.
Yeah, you're gonna be up late, but you won't feel tired because it's fun. I mean, for me, I wouldn't say it's relaxing, but it's something I enjoy, and and I feel like you're always learning. I mean, there's different parts of the country that grill different ways, and so and I've been able to live in all different places, so I've kind of been able to. I was exposed to every coast and how they do things.
2086 says St. Louis ribs are a good starter. Ben says, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. That's going to be a problem for me.
No, you got to make sure your stuff is right, man. You got to make sure you don't want to have flame ups. You got to be, direct heat versus indirect heat. You got to understand. You got to be in it.
I read the instructions, and the first thing was, well, make sure that you properly drain everything and it's properly coated, because if you don't, it might blow up. Cool.
Oh, you just got to season it. You just got to season it. Don't just open up the grill and go right to grilling. You're gonna have to just season it first.
Take some time.
Yeah. Because listen, the better it's like changing your whole oil in your car. The better you treat your car, the better your grill would be for you long term.
I'll keep you posted on the saga. Obviously, it'll be a couple months. I got a little while to wrap my brain around it until it gets nice. But just know I'm on my way. I have acquired a smoker.
You're well on your way. This is a great Christmas for you and me. Yeah, I get to bless you with some of my stuff.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm like what, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, you were my young Jedi Knight.
That. As my older son would say, Yuke.
Yep.
So he says Luke.
Yeah.
Yuke.
Yeah, you got you young Jedi Knight, man.
This is the smoker you're looking
for. No, when you start asking me bad questions, Austin, stop.
This is not the question you're looking for.
You're doing too much.
402-464-5685. Speaking of doing too much, Jay, the University of Michigan continued to do too much to the point where it had to get rid of Sharon Moore and then fell butt backwards into Kyle Whittingham. Man, are you kidding me? Like, it's official. We could kind of see it coming. But for all the missteps that Michigan's had, they still end up with Kyle Whittingham as their coach? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, for them, them and Penn State, for two, blue blood programs to fall on their face by decisions that they made or continue to make or turn a blind eye to, obviously in Michigan's case, to find the two bell cow of coaches that fit their programs this late in the game.
Yeah.
Patience is a key. Michigan probably doesn't deserve Kyle Whittingham, but I think it's a great challenge for him to get a great coach. From everybody that I've talked to that went to Utah, I know Luther Ellis a little bit, he went to Utah, and obviously he's coached it, or he's a D-line coach up there. They talk about him glowingly, and I think he'll do well. I think he'll recruit well. He develops well. I think he's a tough-minded coach. He's a former linebacker. The only thing that's bad about him is he went to BYU. I'd like to ask him, what were you thinking? But then he went to Utah, built that program up to, took it from Urban Meyer, and then obviously continued to build it up and reinvented that program 2 times, I think, 2 or 3 times over, and then switched different conferences, and nothing's changed. And you got to tip your hat to him. And Michigan, they didn't have anybody else to hire.
Right.
Now I thought,
see, that's the point. They didn't have anyone else to hire.
Well, they could have got.
And this guy comes magically available. Yeah. Like, Michigan should have hired like some career coordinator. They should have gone and gotten like Pep Hamilton or something to run the program. They could have gotten like Jason Candle from Toledo.
They could have maybe, if they really were serious, and got Jed Fish.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, he'd been there. But get Kyle Whittingham essentially for free.
That part.
So
yeah,
timing is everything. it wasn't in their plans.
No.
I'm sure he knows it, but I think he knows he's such a good coach. One thing that you can tell from him, and he's a former player, so you know the body language. Just look at him, and I've watched his program every time I can watch him. This is for years. This is back when nobody really was giving him a chance in hell to be successful. He has that confidence in himself that he's accepting all challenges. There's very few people, there's not a lot of coaches that he's an old school coach with new school mentality. He will compromise, but he won't break.
Yeah.
And that comes from confidence, though. That comes from experience. That comes from actually having a lot of humility. And also what he does, two of my high school teammates went to Michigan, a little bit young. I was a senior and they were, younger, but we all, text and stuff, obviously. Very welcoming right away. Got a mass text from him, from both of them, to both of them personally, or a mass text to their group, but then obviously reached out to all of them, as much as he can and will, personally, as former player. So he's very welcoming. So he's welcoming all of the challenges. I think it's, for him, as much as Michigan needed him, this is probably the spark to show Utah, like I told you so. I think the dynamics of how he left, if you listen, at least for me, I don't know him. I just know for me, I've been there 21 years. We're number 15 in the nation. We are one game away from being in the college football playoffs. And we've recruited, we've developed. I think the last two classes are the two highest ranked classes that he's ever had. So it lets you know he can recruit in the present time.
Still getting better.
And doesn't and up until the private equity money hadn't had as much NIL money. So it lets you know his product that he's selling is definitely sellable and is real.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't say he got pushed out, but you got nudged out and you kind of got pressured on. And then now he's like, I think it's going to be like, I'm going to show you. And now I really got some backing. Now I'm going to guys and talking to guys that he's nationwide now. And I'm sure if he can retain some of those players that went in the portal just to do so, or said they were opting out of the bowl game, I imagine sitting down him with 10, 15 minutes, a lot of guys that would realistically contemplate changing their decision.
You think about the Utah team he had this year and then what Michigan had this year, Underwood feels like souped up DMPA.
Oh, if he gets and he's supposed to be bringing the coordinator, right?
Supposed to be.
Offensive coordinator.
Supposed to be.
Then he's bringing the defensive coordinator from BYU.
Yeah.
His boy. His longtime comrade.
Longtime boy. On top of the offensive lineman that, Michigan's become known for, even with Sharon Moore out the door. You had two first round offensive tackles at Utah. It feels like just transplant it from Salt Lake City to Ann Arbor in some ways.
It seems like it'd be easy work.
Seems like.
He's so, he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. He's not taking the Michigan job, not knowing the eyesores that are already there, the landmines. He's not going to deal with that. He's not going to deal with that, and he's not going to do it. So all that stuff.
Well, because Kyle Whittingham's not taking this job for Michigan. Kyle Whittingham's taking this job for Kyle Whittingham.
Right. But this is like, I don't even know what to say. This is like, getting fired from Cleveland. I can't even compare Cleveland Browns to Utah, but it's like getting fired from it's like Mike Vrabel. Getting fired from Tennessee at that point in time that you built Tennessee up, remember Tennessee went to Kansas City, beat them, beat the Patriots at one point, Tom Brady's last game. He built them up to a well-established franchise in the NFL. He got fired, right? Because they thought they fired his GM and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then here go the Patriots. And now look at him. 13-3, about to be 14-3.
Undefeated on the road. Year one.
And he knows the pro. It fits him. So we'll see. He's got his work cut out for him, and it's not going to be as easy. People are thinking like, oh, well, Michigan's just going to beat Ohio State. No, they're not.
No.
That's just stop. But Michigan can probably feel like, all right, we cheated for a national championship. We got one. Nobody respects us. We had a coach that we were allowing to do other things that we shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And we just fell into one of the most respected coaches in the coaching industry right now.
Yeah.
On a 5-year deal. And now we can actually legitimately make our next move when he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Because he's a young 66.
Sure.
I mean, dude's still in great shape. My energy, you could just tell. Why people hate Michigan. They get away with everything. They deserve some like Division III coach that just fell into something.
Exactly. Instead, they end up with Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham, Jay, walks into the Big Ten as a top coach in the league? Top
In
5, certainly, in the Big Ten. How many coaches are you taking ahead of Kyle Whittingham in the Big Ten right now?
Maybe 2, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know. I don't even know who the coach is. I'm just trying
So,
to think. I mean, he's in
Day or Whittingham?
Probably I'll just say Ryan Day just because he won that.
Won a title. He's been there before. Lanning or Whittingham?
They're right even.
Campbell or Whittingham?
Whittingham.
I agree. Fleck or Whittingham? Whittingham. Let's see. Bielema? Probably not. Ferentz?
I'll give Ferentz the head. I don't know.
Just because he's been in the Big Ten longer?
But they're all the same. Look, he's a Big Ten. That's why Utah was so good.
Yeah.
Late before they left the Pac-12 to go to the Big 12, and that's why they were giving the Big 12 the business. He played football like a Big Ten SEC team.
Yeah,
that was their off-speed pitch. Yeah. That was the pitch that they couldn't hit.
Right, just couldn't hang for 60 minutes.
So this is just rinse and repeat for him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on par with everybody. I know he's very detailed. I mean, every head coach is just a byproduct of their staff and support staff and analysts. And so and I'm sure he'll do that. He'll go from there. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, I have to because he's obviously up there. I see him. You don't believe it till you see him in the press conference. He has his Michigan shirt on.
They have the picture of it right here on straight press conference. Everything happened. It's official. Michigan lands Kyle Whittingham. Jay, I have to be honest though. If I'm an Oklahoma State fan, or if I'm Mike Gundy, I'm still thinking what could have been. Gundy had a chance to write off like this. Now, Giddey had to come back after the year they went, I think 10-4. It was. Yeah. And he wasn't leaving after that. It seemed like he had plenty ahead of him.
Yeah.
Then they collapsed 2 seasons ago. Bring everybody back, including Ollie Gordon, who was top 5, top 10 Heisman guy. They plummet to 3-9 with pretty much the whole team back. Would have been hard to get rid of him there, but if that's where he gets nudged out the door, I would have liked to have thought Mike Gundy would have had another stop in him, and maybe he still does. But after 4-11 in his last 15 games, never really winning the big one, I think Kyle Whittingham got the chance that Mike Gundy wishes he had.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mike Gundy's situation was probably a lot of undercover, swept under the rug details that led to the very end, which outside stuff led to on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Probably starting back some of his statements during COVID, and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to outwin those bad feelings internally, and I think also, which also it's obviously a more indictment of Oklahoma State, where the success that Mike Gundy had with Oklahoma State and where he brought you to national prominence or national, respect, you took for granted.
Yeah.
And maybe so did he, but he felt like he earned the right to walk away when he wanted. And then he kind of came back with his tail between his legs. Not kind of, he did. And he was never going to be successful this last year anyways. Then you didn't let him finish out the season. So with Kyle Whittingham, I hope Utah didn't make the mistake that Oklahoma State did. They should, hopefully other schools learn from that. But I think with Mike Gundy, now it's like, okay, what can be his next hurrah? Because Kyle Whittingham goes out at number 15. Okay, legit.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham goes out as an old school coach that's actually adapted to new skill mentality in Utah.
Yeah.
Gundy goes out as, I don't know, almost fired for cause, You had to take a pay cut to give all this stuff with it. And then they were like, all right, man, we're going to let you go like game like 8. After you get
Game 3.
Game 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was 4, but it's like you had 8 games left. So it's a lot different, situation. I think Mike Gundy could reinvent himself. I'd like to see him, maybe get on TV, take a year off.
Sure.
Right. Do the whole thing where you do all that.
The image rehab tour.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, but just get into it because I think he can learn from that view.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Find a spot and then make that thing really popping. It could be a Tulsa. I would have also said a place like maybe Arkansas, but they have a coach or a place that where his style of play, they need him for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I think he could do some great, really, really good things.
Yeah, be okay being the bridge guy.
Yeah. But that bridge would be built by him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And there's no time frame on it because he's a little bit younger, I think, than Whittingham. Maybe, I think. I don't know. He's had some rough nights,
Yeah, Mike Gundy's 58.
So he has a little bit more time where he could actually build a program in it has to be a unique place that where he fits. And I think Gundy can still do it. I think he still has some more juice in the tank. I think maybe he needed, I don't know. I think he would have liked to finish it out right there at Oklahoma State. But as we see sometimes, you're probably the greatest quarterback in their history. Brought him to national prominence there with him and Hartley Dykes and all those dudes. Come back as a coach, do the same thing, and you're just never able to maybe win Bedlam enough, right? When they probably should have. Or were the years that they were supposed to win the Big 12, never did it, but you always produce great players. Something it's like it kind of reminds me of obviously the Glenn Mason, Jerry Kill, and all those guys in Minnesota, where he won consistently so much then you thought you forgot who you actually were, and now we're going to see where Oklahoma State is. You're going to see exactly where you are and what people think of you.
What's more likely for Dabo Swinney at Clemson? That he has the Kyle Whittingham exit, have a good year, and leave, or the Mike Gundy goes up in flames?
Whew, you judging on this year, he's going up in flames.
Well, Whittingham didn't make a bowl last year or 2 years ago. They're below 500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But do you think Dabo has the wherewithal right now to do so?
Doesn't seem like it right now. But then again, he's another guy that probably gets picked up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know that I don't know him personally, but he's talked openly like he would love to be at Bama at some point in time. That's where his whole football career started. So I think Clemson has to be careful, though, with Dabo. And Dabo has to be careful as well.
Yeah.
Because his star has lost the luster. He is a very capable coach. But I think also his mentality probably needs to change some.
Sure.
He's bullheaded, rightfully so. And that's what happens when you're in those very, very small places. And that's, Clemson is smaller than Lincoln.
Yeah.
So you think you're the king of the castle, and sometimes you don't realize there's other castles out there that have had plenty of kings.
Right.
And so you're nobody new, and so there's a lot more pressure. And so if Dabo wants to go to Bama, if he wants to go out on top, he has to figure a way to play better football, recruit better, develop better, and then while the ACC has now caught up to them, they've gained 2 steps on them.
Oh, yeah.
They always were 3 steps ahead, talent-wise, coaching-wise. Well, you got to think you lose Brett Venables. You bring in
Tony Elliott.
So you're 2, and that's where he really made his hay. He developed Tony Elliott.
Yeah.
He, in some ways, developed Brett Venables. Venables was a really good coach, but he was able to kind of
get the best out of him.
Yeah, and grow himself there too. Convince him to stay 3 or 4 times. When he turned down Kansas State, I think 2 different times.
Yeah. Then you'll get a hot shot in Garrett Riley to replace him. No real connection to him, but hey, here's the hot item.
And it was desperate.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Tom Allen.
Well, then you miss a quarterback.
Yep, missed a quarterback. When you really hit it out of the park, like
Taj Boyd to Deshaun to Trevor.
Taj Boyd to even the guy that Bryant that went to Missouri. He was really good that year. Yeah. Then you go to Watson, and then it was Watson to Bryant, and then Trevor. And then Kate Klubnik was really good last year. And then but you didn't have the running back that plays for the Panthers now. I forget his name.
Oh, yeah.
Staley. Is it Staley? No. He was number 1.
I can picture him.
Yeah. So that was your 1,500 yard runner.
Yeah.
Behind that offensive line. That really, and then, you just had injuries. So now Dabo has got to do a really good job of reselling the program, refocusing it, and and it's hard to do right now when the easy thing for all these athletes to do, which is the wrong thing for the majority of them to do, is like, I'll just jump in the portal or I'll try to hold you hostage.
You know that opens Friday, right?
Oh, I know it does. The portal's been open. There's guys been in the portal. I'll say this. I don't know which is more of the, and I know people are on the text line. I know you guys are going to light me up at this before we go to break. I think you passively, aggressively can quit if you go in the portal or try to declare for the league. Now, some guys should. Some guys shouldn't. And it kind of depends on where you're at. But I think guys will do that because either they don't want to play football anymore. So, that's all right, I'm going to try to go to the league. You're done playing football. And then you realize, man, another year in college would have been great just for even financially.
Sure.
Then you go in the portal knowing dang well you didn't handle your business here or anywhere.
And thinking the other school
you're thinking you're going to go somewhere else and all of a sudden handle your business, not even crossing your mind that they have other players that want what you possibly think you're getting or what you think you have.
Right.
So you got competition here, and that's your main competition is yourself, because most likely you went in the portal, either you're a starter or a guy that wants to go start, and they usually have to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to go somewhere else like, oh man, they don't have it. Just like when I was thinking about transferring to Michigan, I was more than 1 foot out the door. My dad was like, man, you think they ain't got players up there? I was like, no. He's like, well, they do.
They do.
Yeah, no matter what Jason and Benny were telling you. No matter how many national championships you won.
Would you have felt the call to learn your roots if you had gone to Michigan? Learn your family history?
Why? What do you mean?
The Ernest Hausman story? Would you have paved the way for him?
I wouldn't have done that. I was going to Michigan because I was mad. Or I thought I was mad.
You probably were mad, but you thought better of it.
I was emotional.
And
I was mad. Rightfully so, though.
That is an emotion.
But it helped me out long term, though.
Sure did.
Yeah.
We'll talk some more about this whole coaching carousel, the transfer portal, and more as we continue Old School here on The Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker women's hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. This is Old School. I'm Orman. He is Foreman. That is former Husker, your NFL vet, Jay Foreman. Jay, we continue talking about some coaching news in the Big Ten. A report from earlier this morning as USC defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn informing USC he's accepted the defensive coordinator job at Penn State. So Matt Campbell brings D'Anton Lynn home, a 3-time All-Big Ten defensive back for the Nittany Lions. You've talked about it before. You mentioned it a little bit there with Kyle Whittingham. How important is this hire for Matt Campbell, making a former Nittany Lion and probably well-respected one in Lynn his defensive coordinator as Matt Campbell makes his way to Happy Valley?
Well, it's really important because, if it fits his style, number one, and obviously a good coach, and then obviously the cherry on top is that he's a former Penn Stater, and so you're able to ease the transition for not only you, but then obviously your program into what you want to bring to Penn State, and he can be there not only as a defensive coordinator, but a confidant too. So, and you always want to have your assistant coaches or somebody that's on your staff or an analyst or something that's able to kind of teach you the ways or kind of look at your blind spot, if you're, now as you're driving a car. So I think it was a really good hire. It was really thoughtful, but then also it was needed for him. And he knows the Big Ten and knows Penn State very well. So, I think he'll have some success.
I was a little skeptical of the D'Anton Lynn hire for USC, but he did a good job. I wouldn't say he worked miracles by any stretch of the imagination, but he got that defense to a respectable level, playing better. And of course, Penn State's become known for defense. Curious to see if what he's able to retain on the defensive side of the ball will help his schemes play up or whatnot. But at the very least, I do think having that conduit right between Matt Campbell, the new head coach, and probably plenty of powerful alums, is as important, if not more important, than anything D'Anton Lynn will do with that Penn State defense.
Yeah, I think, what they had going on at USC, he did a really good job of coming in there and obviously making them legit and trying to get them to have some toughness. He did well. We saw them up close and personal, very athletic, big physical guys. He was very, I guess, had some foresight in how to use some of their linebackers to cover, to cover up some of the weaknesses of the defensive line. Probably had the best safety combination. Probably had he had the second best safety in the nation. The other guy was pretty dang good as well.
Right.
And so he was versatile. I think they changed their game plan up. I watched a few games, and so they weren't just vanilla. So I think, he'll do the same, at Penn State. So I think his pedigree and where he was able to do. Going to USC with Lincoln Riley as the head coach, the way that they practice and the way that they play and the way that they recruited when he first got there, and then being able to kind of turn this thing around in like 2 seasons, I think he's been there. It's a pretty good job, and that's why he's able to go back to Penn State.
Right now, obviously, we have a lot of football left to be played. Transfer portal's not open yet. Do you trust Indiana to go back-to-back and win the Big Ten? Obviously, Ohio State's always going to be up there. Can Whittingham help Michigan take another step? Does Campbell get Penn State back to the conversation? Is there more in Oregon? How much of Oregon depends on Dante Moore? Do you feel like that top 5 in the Big Ten is pretty set in whatever order?
Yeah, as of right now, but that's all preseason talk. I think you still got to go do it. I know Indiana's on a 2-year heater, but also you need to look at like when Mendoza, out of his like 36 touchdowns, 30 of them came against lesser opponents. So it's factual. So what does Indiana do next year to hit that grand slam at quarterback position again? Now some of your players that came over, the Fishers and all those guys are going to be gone. Pons will be gone. So you got 3 or 4 NFL guys that are going to be gone, and great leaders. I think, though, Indiana still will be a player. Ohio State will always be a player. I expect Penn State to be very competitive. I expect Michigan as well. So as much as we're talking about these other teams, right, when you think of like, okay, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, am I missing anybody? Those are probably the and just throw USC in there just from brand power, right? And with Lincoln Riley and his offense, they're always going to be a problem. They're always going to be in the game. And you just expect maybe they'll get a little bit better defensively, right? And maybe he'll get a little bit they'll get a little bit better on so just say those 5. Okay. Well, then that ups the ante for us here.
Yeah.
And this is not even talking about the ones that we really need to start like having our crosshairs at, the Minnesotas, Illinois, Iowa. Those and let's not even forget like Michigan
Washington.
State, Washington. So it's time to knuckle up. This is where when you're playing, when you're at a big time university in a big time conference, like it's I always say like sports is not fun. It's not. Fun is winning.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that matters, man, is to win. And so that's where you got to really change your mindset, because everybody else is changing their mindset by who they've hired or lucked up and who they've been able to hire in any situation. So it's competition everywhere. It's going to be competition keeping your players, competition recruiting high school players, competition getting transfer portal guys, competition and maybe keeping good coaches. So it's 365. There is no off days anymore for anybody, players, coaches, and administration. So, that's what you signed up for. That's what you get paid handsomely for. But also you got to make sure that you go out there and earn it, and you got to compete accordingly. It's cutthroat out there. And if you're trying to think, if you think of it any other way out there or any way otherwise than being cutthroat, then you're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. Don't do that. Don't lie to yourself. This is for real. This is a pivotal time in football in general, but it's a pivotal time right here as well, because forget last year's schedule, because the schedule has already been played. Next year's schedule is the benchmark.
Yeah.
And then it's going to get even better or even higher or even harder. Well, knowing that, then you can't worry about it. You just got to make sure that you handle your business to make sure that you're able to meet the challenge.
We are essentially a day and a half out now, Jay. 2 days, I guess, from kickoff, essentially, between Nebraska and Utah. What's going on in Vegas right now if you're the Huskers 2 days before the game?
Oh, you better be locked in. If you ain't locked in by now, if you're not on edge right about now, see, it's like what, 140 out there.
Yeah,
maybe not so much, but you're not thinking about. You're probably cutting down all the talk on the fun stuff that you did all the way up prior. Very minimal.
No more flying down Fremont Street on zip lines in the past.
Man,
shout out Matt Rule for that, man.
You couldn't get me up there, man.
Really? Zip lines are fun.
Heck no. And you know what? I've been on one before.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear a funny story?
I need to.
I think I was in. I forget where I was at. We had to climb up this. They take you. I forget where I was at. I was down in like one of those I don't know, it's like Costa Rica or something. And they take you up in like this back of this pickup, this bus. I'm like, man, it's like we go looking over the cliff. I was like, we hit one bad rock, we gone. So then they get you out. Then you got to go up, like way up there.
Mhm.
But you climb like a mile.
Woo.
So you go up the steps, go flat. Yo, your boy was so tired. It was so hot. I was so tired. Once I got on that zip line, my legs were shaking. I said, you know what, man? I looked down. I said, you know what? You can just have me. I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I was like 265 pounds. I was done.
Woo.
I had a gray sweatshirt on, sweating through that bad boy. I was so tired because you have to get on it to keep up.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And I was like, man, bump it. You know what? This thing
If I
goes
fall,
down.
I
Yeah,
fall.
I'm fall. I'm done.
But the coach real safe. We die, we die.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I was like, you know what? I'm done. So then after that, man, I said bump it. But I mean, as you're getting into this game, man, this is serious. It's a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing a ranked team, so there's that. So there's a lot on the line, and nobody cares that Utah's not. Their two offensive tackles aren't playing,
right?
And I think the defensive end's not playing, or
Right.
outside guys, or edge rusher ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of transition, or coaching staff wise. I'm sure the new coaches are going to come down and actively try to assist in coaching. I know Phil Snow's going to call the game. Sure, Coach Ulrich could probably be up there. He probably wants to have a bird's eye view or be down on the field and be there with the players. You got Coach Manning on the edge. You got multiple guys coaching defensive line. You got Coach Wade as the new offensive line coach, and so then you got the running back room that's in transition, quarterback room that's in transition. Nobody cares about that because when the game's played, you either win or you lose.
Yeah.
But if you're able to win, you get like almost like 6 victories. You start to knock off some of the stuff that you weren't able to do when you had the advantage of the roster and the opportunity. So now this is your last opportunity to really kickstart 2026, and then also secure yourself a spot on the team.
Have a couple players in the mix to do that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Announced today, Nebraska will be down a defensive starter. We'll talk about that to round out hour one.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker women's hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas, and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. We are wrapping up hour 1 of Old School. Back with you for 2 more hours after this here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Deshaun Singleton out of the Las Vegas Bowl will not suit up for Nebraska Huskers' second leading tackler this year. Jay, seems kind of odd to just find this out. Sounds like Deshaun Singleton had a surgery of some sort. Seems like something Matt Rule would have mentioned before, but either way, we hear it from Phil Snow today. So Jameer Khan, Justin Rhett, and others, stage is yours.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that you have surgery, and I don't know what he had, but sometimes you can there's enough time you can be ready to play. Maybe he tried to come back, and then it was like, hey, you got and Coach Rule has got to do a good job of making sure that you do what's best for Deshaun and the team, right? You don't want him to go out there to compromise himself because he's been one of your better players and trusted players up until then, and it wouldn't do the team any good. Then you got to weigh how much is he practiced versus rehabbed, and what effect could he have in the game and play up to his capabilities. And and Deshaun's got to do that as well. He's got to get out of his own way. And so that's why you probably hadn't heard about it, because there was nothing final. Because, I've seen guys, have a scope on Monday and play on Sunday, in the NFL.
Yeah.
So this kind of depends on what was done or what was needed. And I'm sure he'll be there and obviously try to lead from the sidelines. And I mean, he's obviously been a really good, leader. Been actually refreshing for him, talking to him at the Big Ten Media Days. You could kind of tell he was really invested. Came a long way. I think he came from JUCO, kind of really struggled the first, kind of go round, found his footing, late. I think Mickey brought him here, and then he kind of worked his way into a leadership role and came back. And so he at times he played really well this year.
Found an extra year, was certainly a leader in the back end for Nebraska. Jay, Nebraska not at 100% strength for this game. Obviously, Deshaun Singleton is going to be out, especially on the offensive side of the ball, though. You lose a defensive leader, you're down QB1, you're down RB1, and potentially only 2 offensive linemen from the starting group that you had could be taking the field for Nebraska. In the context of the game against Utah, you're playing against a bunch of the same guys. Sure, they're defensive guys out, and then they're 2 starting tackles on the offensive side of the ball. But, maybe that's better for Nebraska in some ways, right? Instead of guys playing cautious not to get hurt, guys playing, with an eye on the future. These are guys with an eye on the future at Nebraska with something to prove, a chance to play loose, to play free. Hey, this is my first chance to win a job.
Oh, you better be puckered up tight. Your sphincter muscle better be real tight.
Yeah.
In a good way. I think it's, look, I think Rocco's hurt, the guys that can't play and that, had to opt out, you understand, but then there's plenty of opportunity for, Tyler Knack, and Pritchard, he's playing. So both of you guys want to be bookends. Pritchard, do you want to, validate what you've done at times, down the stretch? Tyler Knack, you were a guy that, was penciled in as a starter at Big Ten Media Days, and then you played because of injury. Now you can remedy Nebraska's, I guess, want or have to go in there in the portal and get a tackle. Or do you have enough versatility to play guard? If you play good Wednesday at tackle, talking about him, and you're a good football player, I can't speak for Coach Wade. You're going to put the best 5 guys out there.
Yeah.
So if you're one of the best, this is a good way to get you one of the best 5.
Mm-hmm.
If not, if they don't think you're one of the best 5s, and you know you are, then you're able to go take this tape into the portal and make some money. Running back room. Yo, I'm sure dudes, you've been over there and watching them, and you think you could tote the rock. We about to see. Linebackers, we about to see. Defensive line, we are about to see.
Mm-hmm.
Not just at the beginning when it's fun, when it gets grimy.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, man, it's for a lot of guys, it's make or break. A lot of guys maybe been too comfortable. Doesn't lead to consistency. It leads to guys, some coaches getting fired. But you can't be comfortable anymore because now you got new coaches that don't know you, that are not obligated to you, and that are here to try to do a job so they can keep a job. And so if they got to go in the portal to get somebody that will do the job that you haven't done up until this point, so be it.
Yeah, just to define terms, comfortable when you say it doesn't mean locked into a job, like not feeling like there's a fire under your butt. Comfortable would mean, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know my responsibilities. Comfortable is not, I'm assured a job, so I'm just going to go out there and play.
Oh, it's both.
Well, there's a very fine line. You can get too comfortable, but you want to have some level of.
Oh, no. Some guys have been comfortable.
Yes.
I'm not saying you need to be comfortable. You can't never be comfortable. You should be comfortable and with being extremely uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
And Wednesday is one of those things.
It's going to be uncomfy.
Right.
Get ready.
So you asked about the mindset. If I'm one of those guys, or if I'm wanting to be one of those guys, and I know I'm going to get some reps, there is no play time right now.
Yeah.
Comfortable in football is, it's always weird when I hear guys that are on the radio that say, well, the guys like him, like the coach. Like, to me, that is the word that like, okay, you got to you do have to like your coach to a point. I don't need to like you and be like to love you as a coach. I don't ever want that.
Yeah.
I want to love my coach, and I want, if I'm coaching a kid, when you're done and you're successful and now you understand the method to my madness. While I'm coaching you, my job is to do my job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether you like it or not, that's a you problem. It's never personal. It's just business. We will be like connected, and we will be like friends, or, not even want to say friends. We'll be there, but there also has to be a line that it can't be crossed either.
Right.
On both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to get the best out of you. And sometimes you might not like that because it's uncomfortable. And if you want an example before we go to break, we just watched one of the best NFL games last night with the Bears and the 49ers. One thing that the Bears coach did, coach, was it Ben Johnson?
Yeah.
He would just out of nowhere put Caleb Williams in a 2-minute drill and give him a long play with like 26 words. I know that was exaggerated. And Caleb would be like, can we do it again? He was like, nope, figure it out. That's the number one pick, and that's the former number one pick in the whole NFL draft. And he's making him feel uncomfortable. So how dare you as an athlete think a coach can't make you uncomfortable? Because ain't nobody even close to that right now, at least that resides here in Lincoln. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of guys can say they want it until you got to do what you got to do to get it. And sometimes you need your back against the wall, do or die, and see what you're made of. And it might not even be the scenario. I might just say, Austin, you need to have a good game. And I wouldn't say it this way, but hey, we need you to have a good game. Kind of just based on what's coming up on Friday. I want to see how you react to extreme pressure. That tells me more about you than anything. So you're going to see.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Should be fun for someone in Nebraska, Utah, coming up on Wednesday. We will be here, full pregame for you ahead of the game. As always, 3 hours ahead of time here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. This is the postgame crew as well. Tricky Nicky flying out to Vegas. So
they're not doing any postgame.
You and me, partner.
So
Nick will be on for pregame, but they won't hop on the radio for postgame. It'll be you and me.
All right. That sounds good.
Just the way we like it.
Yeah. Sell out.
We'll be back with hour 2 of Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season. When dessert turns into dinner. And time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker women's hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, it is. Welcome in. It's hour 2 of Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. I'm Austin. He's Jay, and you're along for the ride. As always, 402-464-5685 if there's anything on your mind. Jay, we're talking some more of the college football coaching carousel and how it relates to the NFL as we shift gears a little bit here. Marcus Freeman, not really free. He's locked up by Notre Dame, gets a new contract of some sort. Being a private school, we don't have the details. Rumor has it that Marcus Freeman turned down multiple NFL teams, most notably the New York Giants, to stay put in South Bend. Let's stick on that point for now. He returns to Notre Dame, said unfinished business. He's back with the Irish. What does that mean, first of all, for Notre Dame and then for the Giants, that Marcus Freeman is staying in South Bend?
Man, I don't know what the listen. That dude ain't no NFL coach, man. He's
Why
not.
not?
He's not. He's not. First of all, that it's not. It won't work. It won't work. He get clowned out the league. He get clowned out the league. You come in there with tight pants, and that's not working. With the shoe shining, your dog. I'm just.
But he's a player's coach, Jay.
No, you a college player's coach. You stay right where you're at. It's great. It's great for Notre Dame because they had a really good. They like Michigan and Penn State. You fell into a really good college coach. He's a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
After Brian Kelly left you, like kind of on a recruiting trip.
Yeah.
And you got a guy that's actually taking you to a whole nother level. He's galvanized the alumni, which is I never thought would happen at Notre Dame. And he's got a great gig going, and he goes out and he's pushing the envelope. They supporting him financially. As far as remember, there was a couple years ago where he was losing really good coaches. I think in particular wide receiver coaches, like year after year, is because he didn't have enough money in coaches' pools. It's almost like they were setting him up to fail. Well, then they were like, oh, we actually have a decent coach, and he made a magical run. Okay, now we'll start giving you some money. And so, sure, it was great that the New York Giants were, testing the waters. Bro, listen, man. I mean, I don't understand. Listen, I'm just telling you, you're dealing with grown men, okay? Grown men. The NFL, if you are not a savage, okay, if it's not in you, you will die. You don't have a chance.
And you probably find out pretty quick.
And there's no doubt that he probably could adjust. But I would think about this. Okay, you're going to be with the Giants. Okay, listen, you think that you at Notre Dame, you're secluded, and you kind of decide what is being out there because you're at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, you decide you ain't want to go to a bowl game. Listen, you're with the Giants. I played there. All right, I seen firsthand the pressure. I saw when Michael Strahan was going off when he was eating his lunch and the food was just flying out through his gap into somebody's face. I've seen it where there was fights in the locker room between players and media members. I've seen it where Eli was just getting obliterated.
Eli or Elijah?
He was Elijah then.
Okay.
I saw where Tiki Barber, after we lost in the playoff game, right, threw Tom Coughlin underneath the bus, right? In that type of heat. You don't want that. Marcus Freeman, you got good hair. Okay, you're older. You don't have a gray hair. It reminds me of my dad. My dad still don't have any gray hair. It wouldn't, and it's great for Marcus Freeman because you got re-up, and maybe he should have. I mean, if I'm Marcus Freeman, listen, these dudes getting paid. I need to get paid because just like there will be major universities open next year, he can leave next year if they didn't re-up him. It just so happens the Giants helped you get there,
right?
But there was not a chance. I wouldn't say there's not a chance. There's no way. No way he's ready for that. Not in New York. No. I would advise, brother, do not do it. Do not go to New York City because you'll get swallowed up. Look at Aaron Glenn.
Mm.
And
that's a grown man.
Yeah.
That's a savage. You know that firsthand.
And he started out the bottom. Worked his way up. Scouting, office dude, assistant coach, back to scouting, DB coach, D coordinator. No. But you know what? It's good for Notre Dame because as they're trying to dictate when they get in the playoffs and not, and they just ended the thing with USC. It's good they got their head coach, locked, and they needed to too. After that, Brian Kelly, and you needed a guy to transition. I think they finally believe, and everybody's supporting Marcus Freeman in his journey as their head coach. Finally, I think they do, and and you have to now. He's done too much.
Yeah.
So if If Notre Dame doesn't believe in Marcus Freeman right now, then you never will.
Seriously.
Right. So they probably back pay. Let me get that. Because let's be honest, whatever his contract was when he first got there, to go where he went last year and even this year, after being 0-2 and then battling adversity, the embarrassment of not even embarrassment this year because you lost 2 games by 3 points, I think, right?
Yeah, your first 2 games of the year, rattle off 10 straight.
Right. Well, then let's think after the Northern Illinois debacle and the tough sledding, and then to get it going there, go the magical run through the playoffs within a couple plays of beating Ohio State. Then you lose 2 games by 3 points, rattle off 10, dominating last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should have paid him before that, and that's probably why he's like, hey, we ain't playing in the bowl game. I need to get paid. I ain't mad at him. I'd be laughing at him though if he tried to go to New York though.
Bach and I kind of danced around this earlier today, but I want to ask you, with the NFL experience that you have, you've been in those conversations. We know college football is becoming more and more professionalized. We've heard that, right? Professional versus entertainment. So, Jay, do you think that the way college football is moving, does that give more college coaches a look from NFL teams, or is there still this mindset in the NFL that you got to be like super duper special, like and top 3 coach in the sport to even get a look? Or do you think that maybe this cracks the door for more college coaches to get interviews in the NFL with the way college football is moving?
I think it's both. You're going to see NFL guys come down to college. You look at Matt Patricia and multiple guys able. Now, look, granted, he's just D coordinator, but now he's got to recruit. Now, coordinators don't necessarily go out and recruit, but the way he's galvanized that defense, he's obviously has a connection with his players. Yeah. So he's doing some recruiting.
Well, and Ohio State's like NFL light in some ways.
Right,
so you get guys.
So it's even harder.
Yeah.
Because you're coming from the NFL, and it wasn't a good last go around with the Patriots. Nope. Now you're coming down here, right? Mm-hmm. And now you got to really recruit these 18 and 22-year-old kids that already been treated like NFL players, and you got to get them to play for you. Yeah. You're recruiting, but you're not out there going school to school, but you're going on some trips. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to open up both ways, or both ways. And because I think you're going to get some guys that maybe aren't GMs in the NFL, it's assistant GMs or whatever, that can come down and do it here. And then you have some guys that maybe do a really good job at college that might get, a look at some sort going to the league, going up to the NFL, coaching as well. Because the NFL started coming down to college and getting some RPO knowledge that you implement at the professional level. So I'll let you know that the lines are a little bit more clear how to do it. Now you got coaching is where a lot of the kids that you'll be coaching at the NFL are the same kids that you've probably coached at this point now 5 or 6 years in college. Who has better knowledge of the incoming talent than guys that have recruited them probably since they've been in 9th, 10th grade?
Right.
These college coaches, these college programs. So I think right now the biggest thing that both college and pros have to do, and maybe a little bit more in college, but I think also in pros, you gotta get dudes in there that love football, that are good dudes. Everybody's able to have a bad day, bad weeks, and all, but just good dudes, right? That are about that life, about that business, and then everything kind of runs smoothly from there. Now you can't do that if you don't have the same thing, ownership, GM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to have it all in line. If you don't, then you're in trouble.
Do you think it's easier or harder for a coach, right? Let's take a coach like Marcus Freeman, who's weighing staying in college or going to the pros. Do you think it's easier or harder than the NFL to do that in college? To have that alignment that you're looking for, like you just said.
Oh.
And Notre Dame might be different.
That's a great question. That's tough, man, because that's tough because, like you could have, okay, here's an example. Look at Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. They have a great owner. Lack of experience, great owner. They've had crappy GMs. Now they got a good GM. They had to get pushed by one of their coaching candidates in order to fire Trent Baalke.
Yep.
Right? So it's hard at the pro level. The reason why Pittsburgh's always been a winning organization. The reason why Philly's always winning. Kansas City for the most part.
Baltimore,
ownership. Ozzie Newsome, we're talking about Baltimore. Harbaugh. All in line.
Yeah.
And then they embody the city. Reason why Detroit's resurgence right now, I know they missed the playoffs this year. Why? Ownership. They got GMs, right? Then they went and got their quarterback, and then believed in the coach.
Yeah.
And then what do the players do? Embody the city. Just talk about it. You could just look at Cleveland. Now, I will tell you what. You give Barry a lot of credit. He had a really good draft. Now, when you look at college, it's a little bit harder because I don't know who would be the owner of the football team. The donors. So there's 15
right.
of them. Or who knows how many, right? Because you don't really know them.
Because it's not the AD.
Yeah, because the AD is the GM kind of, right? Or like the
middleman at the very
he's like
least.
The assistant owner.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
assistant
AD,
vice president for
the AD in college is equivalent of like the CFO in the pros. So you have an owner, then you have a CFO, then you got the GM, right?
Yeah.
So that's so you don't know who the owners are, but I think if you have your CFO, your AD, or your GM and head coach in line, then you got
it. The way I would break it down is that it's probably easier just from the coach's perspective, excuse me, to force that alignment or your specific vision in college.
Yes.
You think about some of those big force of personality guys. Think about what Dabo's done at Clemson. Think about Saban at Alabama and the changes that he made. I know those are the best of the best, but not any coach, but most coaches can come in and they're given free rein, carte blanche. Hey, what do you need? We will get it for you, right? Sure, you can look for, one of us, a guy that's been here before. He knows us. He knows what we're about, knows the culture. He's a fit. You can look for all that. But I feel like it's easier for coaches in college, Jay, to kind of have the whole organization wrapped around their finger to a degree. Well, we'll give you whatever you need. We really like you. We want you to be successful.
For sure.
And so I think that's a benefit of being a college coach is that if you can play the game well enough, play the politics, glad hand enough, kiss enough babies, shake enough hands, you can maybe buy yourself more time as long as the results are good enough. You can't really do that in the NFL. There's so few examples of that because there are 32 owners who ultimately have the final say. And then the GM is legitimately the coach's boss, but the GM's under the orders of the owner in some cases. And sure, you can go back and forth and you can have those conversations. And I'm sure, Jay, for some coaches, it's nice to be able to have all that institutional control in college. They will give me what I want as long as I'm good enough. I'm essentially the head man here. On the flip side, I'm sure there are plenty of coaches who like it in the NFL where give me the talent to work with. Let me do my thing. I'll have conversations with you, but I don't need to be in charge of X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Just let me coach football, cut out some of the nonsense. It's coaching, but it seems like they're two completely different realms of coaching.
Oh, it's definitely, first of all, in the pros, you got grown-ass men. And in college, they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. It's totally
thinking they're grown men.
But you can dictate their future a lot more. Now, you can't much now because of the portal, but you dictate a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So you dictate, say like I was at a head coach at like Miami of Ohio, and I was the next Kirk Signetti. And it doesn't matter what school I'm coming in. I can come in and wipe the whole place clean.
Yeah.
That's from the mailman to the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can bring my whole deal to there.
Mm-hmm.
So just on that alone, on top of my paycheck, because I'll probably be the highest paid employee, I have ultimate control.
Yeah.
Over everything. Versus you come to the pros, well, you're dealing with grown-ass men. You got dudes on there making more than you. You can't tell them nothing. Because what will happen in the pros, and the only times it gets a little hairy, and this is what happened in New England, is when you're the head coach and the GM. You have to separate your personal feelings. And sometimes you can be too business oriented, and you need more feelings. That's where Bill Walsh struggled with some of his star players. Now, he was able to remedy that late, before he passed away. But those are mistakes he said, factual.
Mm-hmm.
He made the wrong decisions, running off Joe Montana and all them, right? And treating them just as assets. Right. You can do that in the pro, and it worked for a little while. But you saw with the situation with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick a little bit, where Tom Brady went up to the owner.
Right.
Here's a funny story, and I'll tell it just because he's one of my favorite. He was one of my favorite teammates. He was one of the best teammates I ever had in the pros. His name was Reuben Brown. Should be eventually getting in the Hall of Fame. He was from Virginia Tech, just perennial Pro Bowler at guard. and he used to he used to love driving Harleys. But he would he'd drive his Harley to practice if he could, but he'd always be up there, man, like with these dark sunglasses on. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we had an offensive coordinator. I think his name was Mike Shepard. Came in, and our offense was struggling. And it was my 4th year, and it was bad. And I'll forget, we were leaving the special teams meeting. I was talking to Danny Smith, who's a special teams coach at Pittsburgh now. And so I was kind of there when the offense was coming, because the offense was in the big meeting room.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Shepard, when we were kind of outside, because I had a couple minutes, I had longer to get to the defensive meeting, and he was like, all right, we're putting in 16 new plays. And Ruben was just started yelling. He's like, MNF, we can't, 16 new plays. We can't even run the ones that we got. And he's walking down towards, Ruben's a big dude, like 6'4", 310, you know what I mean? And Mike Shepard's a little dude. He's like, I told you during the game, just stop putting in all these plays, and Ruben he knows his stuff. They're going nose to nose, and he just got frustrated. He's like, and just threw Mike Shepard up into like the projector and went right up to Mr. Wilson. They went right back to bases next week. Just like that.
Just that quick.
No fine, no
just
nothing.
That quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Bruce Smith and Thurman, they weren't talking to like the GMs. They were going to talk to Mr. Wilson. That's why when he came in the locker room, he would talk to them or talk to Bruce. Skip me, Thurman. Hey, Andre, you coming over for dinner? I'm thinking like, where's my invite? I'm going to Boston Market. But that's the difference in the pros. Now, I'm sure like Underwood at Michigan, he could probably, I don't know who he would talk to. He could probably call it a donor, but it's totally different.
But not with Whittingham. Like, even though Whittingham's the new guy, but
no, that wouldn't work out well.
Even Sherrone Moore, I don't know. Maybe
you definitely. I'll say this. Players like that go right to the head coach. A player, say like myself, I'm talking to my linebacker coach.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But you got guys in the pros. They're going to see the big man when they don't need it. They don't need a
no knock policy. Come on in.
Yeah, roll up. Yeah, you don't need a meeting time. You just show up when you want to. Yeah.
I think from the coach's perspective too, in the NFL, I feel like if you're the GM and the owner, as long as you're on the same page, you can kind of pick that person. Not that, coaches are just placeholders in the NFL, right? You got to have a selling point too. You got to be good at something. But in college, I feel like it's a little harder to just be that kind of puppet, right, for the administration, right? Because I think college coaches are expected to come in and make those changes. Hey, what's your vision? Yeah. Hey, turn us around. Hey, what are you going to do? We expect you to make changes. Maybe that's the case in some NFL organizations, Jay, but I feel like from conversations we've had, so many of these organizations are just kind of set in their ways. You know how they're going to operate their business. And sure, guys can come in, and we've seen some real turnarounds that we'll talk about coming up in our next segment a little bit. But the Bengals are never going to spend money, right? No matter how good a coach Zach Taylor is, he's not going to come in and say, hey, you got to spend all this money to upgrade your facilities, right? That can happen in college.
Yeah.
It can't happen in the NFL, but why'd they hire Zach Taylor? Not to get them to spend more money and upgrade facilities, to scheme up a good offense around those good players like Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it's a great, answer, or a great point there, just because that is the big difference. But then when you have that alignment from top to bottom, you get San Francisco 49ers that have plethora of injuries, and they're potentially going to be the number one seed.
Yeah.
You got Philly able to withstand locker room turmoil, coaching potential turmoil, and win a Super Bowl last year and be right in the thick of it this year. You have the Kansas City, to where the fact that they haven't made the playoffs this year, it's like the world is ending, but they're still probably going to be one of the odds-on favorite next year, with or without Kelsey and with Mahomes coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you're able to do it. Denver, right? They got the ownership right, which allowed them to essentially get the head coach and the GM right.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at them. And it's not probably the best roster, but they're able to get a coach that embodies everything, and they got it. And so the college coaches come in, they're the big man because you're making the most.
Yeah.
The pros, you're never making more than the owner.
Right.
So you're not going to run things.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll let you run things until you don't run them the way that they wanted, or some of the star players that have made them a lot of money or won a lot of Super Bowls, kind of like Robert Kraft and he has affinity for Tom Brady, and where they spend a lot of time together outside of football, and he earns that respect from him because Tom Brady took a haircut a lot of times. He did right by the organization probably 3 or 4 times when he was up for it. So then that connects you business wise with the owner. The owner helps you probably with some stuff that made you an icon off of it. And then that's how, in some ways, Bill Belichick got kind of leapfrogged a little bit.
Cubs Grow on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line. We know you're a constant listener, Cubs Grow. I'm a little surprised you didn't know that, yes, Jay was with Danny Smith in the NFL. Jay, Cubs Grow wants your best Danny Smith story.
Man, Danny Smith, hey, man, that dude, he came in and he coached at Georgia Tech. And I think he was a coach there when they won the national championship. And he comes in.
Is that 90, 91?
I think, or something like that. I think he was on the coaching staff. But I know he coached at Georgia Tech. Because I think they might have beat Nebraska, or they beat Nebraska in a bowl game. So he must have done some research on me or whatever. And I remember, I was like, this dude, I don't know, like he had so much gum in his mouth.
Danny Smith, running backs coach for Georgia Tech in 1990.
So we're talking, and we were talking, I was talking to him about, going to the Super Bowl or whatever. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, you been to Club Cheetah? He's like, yeah. He's like, you lucky we didn't get you down a recruit trip. That's exactly where I was taking. He was funny as heck, man. Here's a funny story about Danny, man. Here's the best story about Danny Smith. He was in my wedding. So he has us all over at his house, right? That's why he got a daughter, and she must have been going out to some dance or something, right? So we're all over there, and he got some food. We're over this fellowship, right? We're just all kicking it and with Danny or whatever. And so, daughter, I guess boyfriend, whatever he was, date comes over. This dude, man, he comes in there, he introduces it, Danny's like, hey, this is so and so, and then he gives us a wink, right? So we're like, oh man, what's he gonna do? So his wife is around, and they're kind of just playing around, and he's like, he kept talking, Mr. Smith, this is this, but thank you, Mr. Foreman, and all this. And so his wife must have went up to get his daughter, help her get ready or whatever. So Danny had this like little den, kind of like where he would meet with us as players or whatever. So we were in there. I was like looking through all the stuff, just because like you had football stuff everywhere. And it was me. I'll never forget. It was me, my man, I used to call him Fab Five Freddie Jones, and Kenyatta Wright. We were all kind of just looking. And Danny shut the door. I thought he was leaving, but he shut the door, and the dude was in there. He sat him down and said, look, man, he talks to the dude. He said, look, he's like, I heard enough of this, Mr. Smith, and all this stuff, man. He's like, listen, that's my daughter. And every time you think about doing something, think about us in here. We looked around. We were like, who? And then, hey, look, his wife came down, and the kid got like, he was a white kid. He got pale. And so then comes out, and she was like, is everything all right? Because he looked like he was shook. He's like, oh, we're good, man. They're going to have a good time tonight. I said, this dude crazy, man. Yeah, I like Danny, man. The one thing about Danny Smith is that, so when I was in my 4th year in Buffalo, I was up for a contract, and then this is when you didn't have the internet. The only thing was kffl.com. That was where you kind of got all the, it was always like a day or two late. And so I was like, hey, look, man, if you guys are going to, I know I was going to get a contract from somebody. If you're not going to bring me back, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to play for the, not the league minimum for where I was vested at. I was trying to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I know my agent was like, we good. So they're like, I'll come back, and, I got an apartment, got my cable, and I did it reluctantly because my agent told me to do so. I should have stayed in the hotel, but I saw on KFFL before, like right when I kind of got my internet, I dial up. This is how bad it was. It was like, oh, Greg Williams and Eddie Robinson Jr.'s agent met at the combine. And by this time, the combine's over. He might be going to Buffalo. Well, then I started kind of like, all right, well, there's 3 linebacker spots. Okay. I know the middle spot's taken. I know my man Killer Keith is coming back because he already did his thing. Hey,
that's my spot.
Yeah, brother. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I just had a good year, and so then that's when we got out there, and Danny talked me off the ledge, and I was like, "Bump this place, I'm out of here." He was like, "Look, man," he's like, "Listen, if they want," he's like, "I told them they just let you two compete." He's like, "Because you're good enough to beat them out." You know what I mean? So now I see I got traded probably like 2 hours later. Danny didn't know, and I met with him. He came over to my house before I left. But he's one of the dudes. He's like, look, I've been in the league a long time. He's like, you're gonna have a long career. And you know, he's always been. He always was really, really like as honest as he could be at that point. So I got a ton of respect for him. But he's funny though. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
we have a good night.
Oh, he's like, oh yeah, have a good time. He's like, don't be
Go
late.
get him.
I bet you. Hey, I bet you.
Curfew's 9:30.
Hey, I bet you that girl came home an hour early. Right, mad. You know what I mean? Yeah, Danny tightened him up real good.
Shout out Danny Smith.
Yeah.
Right. Got a little bit more on the coaching carousel, including the NFL's Coach of the Year race. That's all ahead. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School on the Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker Women's Hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along here on Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This segment sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl, triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. You can learn more by calling them at 402-430-3852 or by visiting them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay, as we talk Marcus Freeman to the turning down the NFL interest, I should say, let's say you're at a top 5 or top 10 job in college football, however you define it. Really good college football job. You're comfortable. You're winning. What's the worst NFL job you would take if it came calling? Like going from Notre Dame, a top 5 job, to the mess the Giants are in right now, I get why Marcus Freeman wouldn't do that.
I would take the Giants job.
You would?
Yeah, I mean, it's a, I guess, a blue blood NFL franchise. They got great ownership.
Mm-hmm.
GM, I don't know, but I think you can work around that because you have probably more security than he does. He's got to hire you out of desperation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there, and especially if you start winning, you can dictate who the next guy is. So the worst job that I would take,
because like if you're a college coach, you're not taking the Titans job.
I would say probably if I'm a college coach, the worst I would probably take Arizona.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. I see it.
I mean, everything else, the knowns you would take.
But the knowns wouldn't offer you.
Right.
That's just the thing.
Right, because they would probably get another NFL coach, or they're going to keep their coach.
Yeah.
Let me see what the other ones.
Arizona came to mind for me. Carolina, they've done that before. Yeah. So
Carolina would be tricky because the fan base is definitely wine and cheese and is a NASCAR town, which I think if you bring a product, they'll be good. I think I would have a hard time meshing with the ownership. They actually have a good GM in Dan Morgan.
Yeah.
So that actually maybe can eliminate that angst with the owner because you have a football guy as a GM.
Sure.
But I would probably, that would be I don't know if I would ever take it. I mean, unless Cleveland was like, yo, I'm going to pay you 3 times what you deserve.
What's up, baby? It's Brian.
If they so
Cleveland would do it. If you're Marcus Freeman and let's say next year the Colts come calling, is that a good enough job for you to leave Notre Dame?
If the roster is like 70% of what they have now, yes.
Would you make that move in state?
It would. Oh yeah.
You think that's easier or harder for him to leave Notre Dame for an in-state job in the Colts? How would that be received by that state?
I think it'd be all right. I think Notre Dame and South Bend is their own little state.
Okay.
I think it'd be all right. I mean, I think they would have to understand it.
But if you're Ryan Day, would you take that Colts job? Is that a good enough job for you to leave Ohio State?
They don't have a quarterback.
But you're Ryan Day. You're the quarterback guy. They bring you in to get one.
In the league, you better have a quarterback, a real quarterback, or be able to have an eye for him. If I'm Ryan Day, I would take it. It's all about ownership.
It is.
And the only problem with that, with Indy is how long will that GM be there? Because he's going to be the guy that's going to hire you. Now the owner is
Well,
very
let's say he's gone and the head coach is gone and they start fresh. Would you want to be a GM's first hire?
Oh yeah, because we're in this together. We need this to work.
Hmm.
And if I do well, then we do well.
If you're Dan Lanning, are you leaving Oregon for like Tampa in 5 years?
I don't know if Dan Lanning's a pro coach.
Just throw names at the wall. You know, some of these big jobs, big names.
I can see him. He'd be great in Tampa. Actually, I think
that's just a thought.
I think he would do well in Tampa. I got to take that back because I think that Tampa has identified what a Buccaneer is, what they want in a player, so they have a better eye on what they want in a coach. And if they pick Dan Lanning, you have to think that they will be successful with him. Right. I don't know what the heck is going on right now, but Dan Lanning would do well there.
And it's different, too, when we talk about, your Days, your Lannings, your Freemans, who are college guys. Different when you think about Jim Harbaugh, talking with the Bears and talking with the Vikings, where you could kind of pick it, or, Pete Carroll kind of going back and forth here or there. Even, Nick Saban coming back to college to some degree with where he was and when the Dolphins got him, that's a completely different situation. How many NFL ties do you think you would have to have as a college coach to get an NFL look? Does it matter how many guys you're putting in the league? Obviously, the better you are, the more
I think
we'll
if you develop talent is one thing. Number one, I think college coaches can actually coach in the pros, but they have to understand you cannot coach professionals like in college. If you can kind of morph yourself into a pro coach and still have your foundation of what you want to do, it doesn't matter. A good coach is a good coach.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get to the pros, you're trying to do it that like you did in college, it's not going to work. So, but then the biggest thing is like, do you have the connections with the staff at the pro level? Because the most important coach for a pro coach is your coordinator / associate head coach or assistant head coach, because that's going to be the guy that you bounce stuff off, and then your weight coach and your special teams coordinator. Now, obviously, you need line and all that, but those are the ones that you build your team around. The coaches are going to be around the players the most. That's where you got to get the most of your information, and that's going to give you a kind of good look-see into, what you have.
How often are the strength guys hired by each coach versus the organization? Right, you think about some of the
bring
names.
in most.
They
now
bring their
there's
own?
some guys like Cedric Smith and that kind of has been a holdover, and there's some guys that kind of been so good that they're able to stay. I always talk about Rusty Jones.
Right.
We had one really good one in Houston. I forget it was called Dr. Dan. He was the strength coach for the Washington Redskins at the time when they had the Hogs and all that. So he was really good. I forget his name. Dan Riley. That was it. Dan Riley, and he was great. But a lot of times the coaches are going to bring in their own. Just like Harbaugh brought in his own, Raheem Morris brought in his own. Everybody usually brings their own strength guy, or their agent has one, which is probably a little bit more dangerous because the agent wants him to get paid. But generally, a coach, that's if I was a GM, I want to know who you're bringing in with your strength and conditioning. I want to know who you're bringing in on your coaching staff, especially at coordinators. That will tell me as much or more about you than what you're going to tell me, because you get in front of a GM and an owner, you generally have to talk yourself out of it if they really are trying to hire you.
Do you think that gets asked in many of those meetings? Who's your strength guy? Who are your associate coaches?
I'm assuming when you do these interviews, they're long all day and they're long, and you go through your program, coaching staff, offensive philosophy, defensive staff, special teams, weight coach. How does it all go together? Organization. All that stuff. I mean, you go through everything because the owners are not only investing in you, you're investing in you to run their franchise.
Yeah.
From a football standpoint.
Sure.
And they want to make sure that they're going to, what you're doing, you get your money's worth. And also they want you to embody or be the face of the franchise as well. So you gotta fit that script as well. You gotta be, obviously tightened up, off the field. You probably gotta, somewhat be appealing personality wise, because I'm assuming You got some minority owners, and you're going to have to do the shake hands and kiss baby. So you want to make sure that you have a personality that's sellable to keep, ownership at the level that they have it.
Between college and pros, what's the biggest jump in the strength and conditioning realm? Like, what's the difference between like a college regimen and a pro regimen?
Oh, hey man, I remember I came in there thought I was doing a Nebraska workout, working hard, and then Rusty Jones like, hey, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. Now,
and you guys were a pioneer here at Nebraska.
Yeah,
in the college
he's like, we don't do that here. Now, we got after it, and we got after it. We maxed out and stuff when we went to right before training camp, and he had it really detailed. He's like, but we don't lift hard. He said we lift hard, but we're strategic about it once or twice a week. And I was like, why? I was like, I've been lifting hard 4 days a week.
Yeah.
He's like, listen. He's like, how many guys do you had in your team in Nebraska? He's like, I seen you guys. What do you got, about 200? I was like, oh, at least 150.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, how many guys you think in that locker room? He's like, not counting the special team. He's like, 50. He's like, I get fired if you're not playing on Sunday. You're professional. It's your job to be in good shape. It's my job to keep you in good shape. It's not my job for you to come in here and try to hit your max on squat during the season, throw your back out, now you can't play. There is another replacement. We can't go find guys. That's the difference. Now, you get after it when you can in the off season, but a lot of times that's why you got to put in the extra work. You got to get to Sunday. That's how you get paid. You don't play, you ain't getting paid. Your best ability is your availability. You got to be tough, man. I mean, that's why you see these guys. I just laugh at them. They talk about they going to pros. I say, you ain't got a chance. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm not trying to be like a hater, quote unquote hater. Listen, you get in that locker room, man. It is it is survival. If somebody knows your weakness, it comes down to whether they get the paycheck or you get the paycheck. They got mouths to feed.
You got mouths to feed.
Right. I remember I used to ride home with John Hollisack all the time. But I remember Kirk Schultz gave me a ride home because I was like, I ain't bringing my truck up here till I at least know I'm going to be on the team for a couple of weeks. He gave me a ride home for practice to Sheridan 4 Points. And I sat next to this man all through mini camp, all through training camp, every day. And when we were in team defense or defensive team room. Man, I got in this, he had one of them Volvos, it was kind of like a station wagon.
Hatchback sort of thing.
Yeah, hatchback thing. My man had 2 or 3 baby seats back there. Stuff all over everywhere. He's like, oh yeah, I got 4 kids at home. That's the difference. He got 4. We got 4 kids at home. We got a wife
and him. Yeah.
He got mouths to feed. Mm-hmm. He got 6 people. I'm trying to just see if I'm gonna get something from Outback or not. You know what I'm saying? Chicken on the Barbie. So that's the difference. I mean, so that all goes into it. I mean,
what do you think these last 3 weeks have been like for Phillip Rivers in strength and conditioning?
He's just trying to make sure that his body is. I mean, I just imagine his body after that first practice. But quarterbacks don't do much.
He played some defenses that were hitting though.
Yeah, that's what I'm about
Seattle,
to say.
San Fran, Jacksonville, and now Houston coming up potentially.
That was a long flight home. Boy, then that next day,
Bill got a whole row to himself to stretch out.
I guarantee he might have been in that hot tub for an hour trying to figure it out. But, that's part of it. Getting back in your routine and figuring that out too. I mean, there's a whole bunch of nuances that go into pro football versus college. And that's why you talk about Marcus Freeman. It's a totally different game. You don't have to recruit. You only get to coach the players that you and the GM hope you get in the draft versus in free agency. Mm-hmm. You also have to understand where you're at, like financially, as far as the salary cap. That kind of dictates your team.
And the salary cap is different in college versus the
NFL. Right. Right. There's more rules, and this is why it's so hard. And it's harder, and I think it's easier to coach in the pros. Like college football is ever changing. You don't have any regulation, right?
Right.
And there's only 32 teams. Whereas in the pros, there's a lot of regulation. 32 teams. You know the rules, even though you don't agree with them. It's very hard for them to change like anything. It's hard for them to even agree to CBA when they know it's coming in a year. They can't even get together and say, let's not have some sort of month or 2 lockout, right?
Right.
Versus like the pro or like college, there is no regulation. There's some, but not really. There's some colleges operating by the letter of the law. There's some that are kind of teeter-totter in the middle, and there's some that don't even care. They'll deal with it later. So there's no continuity, and there's hard way to really build a team. But here's the one thing that's the exact same. You do have a pool of money in college, a pool of money in pros. You get to spend it every year. The ones that are consistently winning at either level are the ones that do a really good job evaluating players / developing and spending accordingly. I saw it in Houston where we would pick guys up. I'd never forget this, man. Looking at this, I would never forget this. Looking at these like scouting reports. They're like, oh, man, this dude right here, he's too top heavy. He can't move his feet. Expose him. Whoever's going against him should get a sack. It came true. As a matter of fact, he got 3 sacks. And, I mean, everybody took their turn on him. Like, next thing you know, free agency, we signed him. We signed dudes that had no business being there. And we were paying them like they were Orlando Pace or like something like that.
Woof.
So that's where, because I call it the bad team tax.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that have the patience from the owner, confidence in the evaluators, that don't succumb to the bad team tax, end up coming out of it. The ones that continue to draft good, right? And that's why you talk about Liam Cohen is probably he'd be my vote for the coach of the year, that he's able to take advantage of even some of the things that Urban Meyer was able to do. They're getting good young talent, continue to stack that talent. Now you get a coach and GM. Now these dudes up there winning the AFC South.
Liam Cohen has Jay's vote. Who's your NFL coach of the year? We'll wrap up with a little bit more on that coming up next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, to brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker Women's Hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to Huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School here on The Ticket. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Final segment of our 4 o'clock hour. As always, brought to you by Love Volleyball at Nebraska. Just a couple weeks away from the home opener for Love Nebraska at Baxter Arena, January 11th. Get your tickets online, lovbneb.com. 3 p.m. match for Love Nebraska against Love Houston at Baxter Arena. Promotional schedule, all that jazz is out as well, lovbneb.com. All right, Jay, your pick for NFL Coach of the Year is Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
Brief explainer as to why, please.
Well, I mean, you take over Jacksonville, and they
key point being Jacksonville.
Yeah, they won 4 games last year, and he's up to what are they? 12-4 now.
Yeah,
it's the first time in NFL history. So you got to give him. I mean, that's it. I mean, he's probably they've clinched or potentially going to clinch the AFC South. I think they're going to win it, right?
Houston's still alive.
Yeah. I just go with him. I mean, the funny thing about this year is there's about 6 coaches that could win, and you wouldn't even feel, I guess, bad for him winning.
Cohen.
Okay. McVay.
Okay.
Okay. Shanahan. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald. D'Amico.
Boy D'Amico.
The 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think who else. I mean, you can even do Sean Payton.
Yeah. Vrabel.
Right.
There's
so
8.
There's 8 coaches.
A quarter of the league.
legitimately could be Coach of the Year, and nobody should bat an eye.
Who do you like to give Coach of the Year to? Is it the overperforming teams? Is it the coach that dealt with the most injuries? Is it the surprise team? Where do you like to go with your Coach of the Year? What do you expect from that award?
I'll probably go to a little bit done with more with less in the surprise team. I think he's the Coach of the Year. You got to think Trevor Lawrence was almost thought of as a bust.
Yeah,
number 1 pick bust.
Didn't get anything from Travis Hunter.
Unfortunately. Pivoted from that, and you've rehabbed Etienne as well. You've coached a plethora of different receivers and been successful, and you've been winning in Jacksonville, a small market team. I mean, Sean Payton said it best. They're a small market team, but they're actually really good. Yeah, they're really good. I mean, he'd be my pick. I think they will probably go with a Vrabel, probably, especially if they end up being the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
it's hard to go away from that, but I would just pick him just because what he's done in Jacksonville. I mean, they've won what? Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. 8 out of the last 9, and that's where they barely lost to Seattle. They got bludgeoned against the Rams, and then otherwise they lost to. I don't know how they lost to Cincinnati, and that was, I think, when Joe Burrow was still, healthy. Besides that, they're rolling. They lost a shootout to a desperate Houston team.
Yeah.
Then after that, they've been locked in. I mean, they beat the brakes off of Denver, beat up Indianapolis just last week, who was desperate. Beat the
Desperate to be done with the season.
Yeah, but they beat the dog tar out of Indianapolis twice in a month.
Yeah.
Went an OT with Arizona and bludgeoning the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else, they beat Kansas City. Obviously, nobody thought. They went to San Francisco and beat them. Put the league on notice. Beat Houston. And they beat one of the teams that they also beat Carolina to start the party off, which you don't want to play against Carolina in the fourth quarter anyways.
Right. Kepsker says he would go with Ben Johnson. The Bears have done a complete 180 as opposed to years past. Look like a threat in the NFC even after their loss last night. I have a little bit harder time believing in the Bears than the NFC as a legit threat this year. Played a fourth place schedule. That's always going to help. Credit them. They've won the games. Caleb Williams looks legit, but
defense.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson would be up there too.
He would.
What he's been able to do in Chicago, he deserves a lot of credit.
I would take him over Shanahan. Like Shanahan's done some really good work, but we know he's a good coach. And just because we know you're a good coach shouldn't disqualify you from the award. But you've had a bigger turnaround in Chicago. McDonald, I don't really get the candidacy there. Seattle was good last year, but here's the case, Jay, for Mike McDonald. Here are the list of quarterbacks that have posted consecutive 13-win seasons in NFL history. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, seeing ghosts, cast off from the Jets, bounces around to Carolina and San Francisco, resurgent in Minnesota, signs a big money deal in Seattle. Did with Geno Smith last year, obviously in Seattle, not 13 wins, but Darnold won 13 in Minnesota with O'Connell last year and 13 with McDonald right now. But Seattle was good. I have a hard time giving it to him, even if he's a good coach. I lean Shanahan over McDonald and McVay because it seems like San Francisco has the inside track to that 1 seed, which I think should carry some weight and with some injuries. But I'm with you. I think it's got to be the surprise or even in-season coaching job. Houston was dead.
Yeah.
Think about how bad Houston looking for D'Amico to find a way to not just get that team playing better football and squeaking into the wild card, but look like a legitimate playoff threat after the way those first 3 weeks went. He's got to get some real consideration.
Yeah. D'Amico's done I thought they were left for dead. I thought potentially CJ Stroud wasn't going to be the quarterback of the future.
Then Naptown, if you're still questioning.
And then, I know, right? And then he's turned it around. I think the defense was always good, but I think I keep my connections down in Houston. There's people questioning whether he needed to be fired. D'Amico himself. And he stayed true to who he is and what they do. And obviously the next thing you know, he's off and running.
Yeah.
And and then now CJ Stroud is fully entrenched in that offense. The offensive line, actually with injuries, actually is still playing good. This is without Joe Mixon. Everybody else has stepped up. So he definitely, those three between D'Amico, Johnson, and Liam Cohen, I think is definitely, worthy picks.
Tight race, fun race. We'll talk more coming up here in hour 3 of the show. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Back in a jiff.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker women's hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
A membership with John Henry's will fast track you to front of the line service, seasonal tune-ups, and far fewer unexpected moments. That means no breakdowns, no waiting on a call, and no nonsense. It's consistent care that prevents small issues from turning into big bills. Join the Comfort Club and get VIP treatment 365 days a year with 24-hour priority response, member-only discounts, and peace of mind on your home's most expensive systems. Call John Henry's.
John Henry's Plumbing. Heating
and electrical.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, 5 o'clock hour. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th Yankee Hill, 85th Andromat / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on. Obviously, good NFL talk, obviously, which is on the forefront, especially with a great game last night. Potentially could have a good game tonight. Raheem Morris might be coaching for his job. Rams are trying to stay alive in the to potentially be the number one seed or have a good seed in the playoffs. And then obviously you got the flex schedule, leading up to Saturday and Sunday along with bowl games next week. So we're going to switch our attention to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll have a presence down there with Nick, Jake, and DP. But obviously the Huskers in the fan base, for a little that I've seen, have their presence down there as well. So, but all that fun and games, a lot on the line. You have guys that have already went in the portal, potentially more to go in the portal. Guys are going to be coming here from the portal. You got, still might even recruit. I saw, I think it was Munson was talking about potentially Nebraska still recruiting a 2026 defensive lineman that hasn't committed yet. And so there's a lot of moving parts. You got several new coaches. Don't foresee any more. Maybe, officially a defensive line coach, whoever that may be, whether it's Phil Simpson or somebody else coming in. But Nebraska has a lot of, balls in there. And then also you have, even though, which is weird, obviously, you know what, we'll even ask you this. Like, I'm going to ask you this, Austin. I want people listening, texting what they think of it. I didn't really pay much attention to it because kids go in the portal so much and their edits, I guess they call them, when they either decide they're going in the portal or the draft is so long. I just looked at the end or don't look at them at all. It's all right. It's another guy and who knows what they're saying.
Right.
They could just say, I'm coming back. You know what I mean? With Dylan, obviously not officially in the portal by his words. I mean, obviously it was on his social media, so I guess it's official. No Nebraska affiliation on his social, right? This is all what I'm telling. I don't, I feel like guys that are in the media sit there and like look at college kids as like you
get a life.
You're a bum, but I forgot who said it, but they were saying, and what you're feeling on Austin, well, ask the texters as well. If it didn't work out here, I won't believe Dylan's not going to come back until he goes somewhere else. That's just me. Sometimes you jump out there, boy, and it's cold. Hey, I could tell you yesterday, Austin, while you're chilling at the crib, don't go outside. It's 14 degrees until you jump out there and experience that 14 degrees plus that wind. You're like, yeah, you're right.
Your boy had to jump out there yesterday,
Yeah.
Jay. The grill cover flew off. I had to go rescue that.
Yeah,
I had to take the recycling out to the curb. Monday's recycling day for me, so I had to put it out last night.
But what I'm saying is, so on that point, obviously, he's been connected to, 3 or 4 schools, obviously, and that'll change every week depending on what somebody else does, so forth and so on. And Nebraska's been connected to players as well. I did hear when somebody was like, well, he never did a post of like thanking you, whatever, but I'm still going in the portal. Did that make you feel some sort of way, or does it?
It did not, because the context that I heard that thrown out there in, maybe it's just the people I was talking to, was, was he ungrateful? Is he just leaving Nebraska out in the cold, turning a cold shoulder? Is he not appreciative? Is he throwing shade at Nebraska? Whatever. But I think, again, that's reading way too far into it. Technically, the man's not in the transfer portal yet. He might have put a little something on his social media to that effect, but it's not really out there. You know what I think is happening is I think we get the official announcement on Friday with a post on Friday doing the same song and dance. I think family's smart enough. I think Dylan's smart enough to do it, quote unquote, the right way if he's going to leave. Right. I don't think his time at Nebraska was so bad for him and so contentious and so bitter that he's just going to leave without, having a landing spot or 2 or 3 maybe lined up. I don't think it was so bad that he's going to leave without saying anything at all. I think he's waiting until the transfer portal actually officially opens. Now, we've seen plenty of athletes already post, thank you, I'll be entering the transfer portal, all that good stuff. I mean, former Husker Ruquan Buckley did that, I think, today or in the last couple of days. So, it's been done. But think about the Dylan Raiola that you saw for 2.5-ish years, Husker fans. He's a classier kid than just to leave saying nothing. And I'll believe that, until Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday come and go, and there's no post. I'm not holding out hope that, Dylan Raiola comes back. I think Nebraska would be a better team with him on it rather than him gone, with work to do, certainly, right? Again, Nebraska's not just a quarterback away. Dylan Raiola isn't just the savior.
Right.
But I tend to think when there's smoke, there's fire. I'm thinking he's gone, and I think a reunion is pretty out of the question.
Unless it's both of them, everything bottoms out.
Yeah, for both sides.
Yeah. Like I struck out I'm bottom of the ninth. I was about to strike out. So have you. Let's do it one more time. But I guess, now I think it's at the point I guess I wouldn't even say anything.
Really? Not even put it out there, mute replies?
No, I mean, if I'm going like for me, I guess if I was going in the portal, I would just say I'm going in the portal. I'm just gonna say I'm going in the portal. All right, man. Look, things didn't work. I would do the whole song and dance the day that it broke nationally that I'm going in the portal.
Yeah, not let it sit.
Because I'm not I'm committing. I guess if he committed on Friday, he'd be like, you can thank Nebraska, but by that time it might be too late.
But even if he was not thankful, it's still quote unquote the right thing to do, right? The etiquette is to put it out there.
You handle your business. You play the game within the game. I'm just talking about right now. I wouldn't even. I would just say now. I would just say as little as possible about Nebraska, because you have to say everything possibly about what brought you here and then where you're going. I'm not going somewhere. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Nebraska when I go in the portal.
Yeah.
I'm not thanking you as I'm already going somewhere else.
But that's the thing. It doesn't seem like he has somewhere else, right? He hasn't been linked anywhere strong. And again, it's Monday. The portal doesn't open till Friday.
He's got options.
But do you think in 1 week from today, when we come back, Dylan Raiola has a new home?
Let's see. It starts Friday.
Yeah.
By next Monday, I'd like to think so.
Really? Because I think this could drag on into middle January, potentially. If, like you said, the market's not there, right? There haven't been any strong front runners. And again, I know the portal's not open, but let's not pretend like tampering isn't happening.
Yeah, I think he's had some conversations.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think he went in the portal like butt naked.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think he has options. It's just a matter if there's another option that comes sooner.
But how long? But is he going to get Norvell? Or Florida State, right? Wait to see who else gets fired.
There's only a few good quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
There's only a few good quarterbacks in college.
I've seen places have him as high as the number 6 player available in the portal.
Yeah. And he's one of the top 2-3 quarterbacks. He's gonna have plenty. He doesn't have to make a decision quick. But if it's for me, I would probably project where I could go, and I'm assuming already having those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm making my decision soon.
Because you want to be there.
Right. And I want it to be over with. I want the business side done. I want to know where I'm going. I want to get boots on the ground, like literally the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get there and get invested because I have to answer the bell. This is any quarterback. I have to change the narrative or continue to build on the narrative of who I am and what I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So the earlier the better. I don't need to get in the bidding war. We already did that. Now, at this point, this is about ball till you fall.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole different mindset. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so part of doing that is obviously moving a lot different. But all I'm saying is like once you go in the portal, that's when you say, hey, you put in all the fluff. Somebody can write it for you. You got ChatGPT. Write it for you and they say, I want to thank Nebraska. I'll always be a Husker, but for my next year or two of eligibility, I'm going to be entering the transfer portal. That's what I'm doing when everybody else, all the other quarterbacks did it that day. When I go to Oregon or Louisville or Miami or somewhere like that, man, I've been through a lot. This has been great. This and this. I had a great opportunity to come here. I can't wait to get started. I got some great dudes. I got a great standard I need to live up to at the quarterback position. I can't wait to be a Duck King. What's the Louisville Cardinals? Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hoosier or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Wildcat, you know what I'm saying? Notre Dame. I can't go Irish.
CJ Carr's there.
Yeah.
You're not going there.
CJ Carr is like
you dropped Indiana, Jay.
CJ Carr is like an Oldsmobile.
Jay, you dropped Indiana.
I'm just talking about. I'm just looking at guys that they're going to lose their quarterback.
Yeah.
So those will be ones that want a Big Ten starting quarterback. No different like Alabama. Yeah, sure, it's great. Jet Tamala's he ain't busted a great. You got a dude that can step in and play.
Yeah. Dylan Raiola at Indiana would be quite a sight. Not a good one for Husker fans, I wouldn't think. But back to your
hey, listen here. Hey man, you just imagine the first time he got roll up, Curtis Cincinnati roll up. Oh my god!
Imagine that conversation.
Yeah, Curtis Cincinnati don't pull no punches, man.
No.
Yeah.
You mentioned change the narrative though, and I think that's an interesting angle as we talk about Dylan Raiola specifically for a minute. Fair or unfair, true or false, some of the conversation about Dylan isn't about football. At all the high school games, at all the sporting events. I'm not saying this is me. I think there are plenty of Husker fans out there, though, Jay, who would probably have a little bit more respect for Dylan Raiola if he knows where he's going in a week from today. Like, if Dylan Raiola has a home by Monday, it's, okay, well, didn't work out at Nebraska. Don't love that he left, but he didn't draw it out. It wasn't for the attention. It wasn't for the followers. It wasn't any of that. It was a business decision. Fair, unfair, true or untrue. I think there are plenty of Husker fans out there a little bit salty that are going to have that lasting image of, well, he was always out and about, doing all this other stuff, some of which came with face of the program and, highest rated recruit, but maybe in some opinions, he took it a little too far. The longer and longer that he drags this recruitment out, again, fair or unfair, is going to reflect on him. And not that he cares what fans think, but if some fans are thinking it, you can bet there's some NFL general manager out there that says, really, dude, you're a top 5 quarterback available in the portal at worst, and you drug your decision out that long. I get being patient, but maybe it comes off as wanting the attention, seeking the attention, really holding out for every last penny that you can get. I don't think that's the camp I'm in with Dylan Raiola, but I think there will be a lot of Husker fans that have more respect for Dylan Raiola, his decision, the way he handled his transfer, if he knows where he's going sooner than later.
Well, that's probably what they want, just to kind of put the nail in the coffin. But I'm looking at this thing with Dana Holgerson. He says it's going to happen quick. He says he said he hasn't had conversations with anybody, but agents are having conversations, and for what he's hearing, dominoes are going to fall quick. That's the Nebraska perspective.
Yeah.
So if the dominoes are going to happen quick here, right? And I'm assuming he's talking about the quarterback position or even the portal. That means it's going to happen other places quick. So therefore, you should be done pretty soon, or have a good idea, or be down to the nitty gritty.
Okay, so
now if you get to end of January, because you're right, or like a week before they go to school.
Yeah.
Now sometimes you might wait to announce it, and it's already done. We've done that here. You know what I mean? Then you fight some of the perception that's already out there, and the biggest thing you have to do is be aware of what the perception is. Now, whether you did it fully, halfway, or some way, be aware of it. Now, is it important enough to change? Because the only thing that needs to change is how you play. Because that eliminates all that perception.
Yeah.
You play good. And sometimes the perception can be too much, and you never can live up to it because you can't play that well. No, that's why there's never been another Michael Jordan. Heck, LeBron James has beat him in every single category. And you hear people on
not
Twitter,
rings, Jay.
Not rings, right? But LeBron doesn't have more rings than like Bill Russell in that. It's all relative, but no matter what LeBron does, he will never pass Jordan, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so that's where the expectations can get out of hand. The only thing that you can do is make sure you handle your business. In LeBron's case on the court, Dylan's case is on the field.
You bring up that quote from Dana Holgerson, dominoes are going to fall fast. Let's game theory this out a little bit. Is that Dana Holgerson saying we will be one of those fast falling dominoes? We'll have a transfer guy in place pretty quickly? Or is it Dana Holgerson resetting expectations? Hey, a lot of the big names that you heard of are going to be off the board. Don't freak out. We're probably not going to get one. And so it might be a lower level guy transferring up the Trinidad Chambliss route. I think it's probably that one right now.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, I think what we've seen is if you can find a quarterback that fits you and it has leadership skills, which is the most important, and is very consistent, and football is first, that pays you more, and it actually costs you less versus the sexy name that you can get that maybe like Carson Beck from Georgia to Miami and all that. Even though obviously Carson Beck at times played really well, but you got the Mendozas, you got your Chambliss and all those guys that kind of leveling up, right?
Curtis Rourke, couple years ago,
and all that. I mean, you got to think even Brosmer that was at Minnesota, and you talk to the Minnesota guys. What we were able to do at Big Ten Media Days is the one complaint they have with PJ Fleck when it has to do with Brosmer is that they held the reins too tight on him early in the year, led to 2 or 3 losses that they felt like, or 2 losses that they felt like if he had been allowed to play like his skill set would have been, might have been another outcome. So it lets you know the match is more important. And so Nebraska's just got to be, this is where, I'm assuming, Stewart and all those guys, they have an idea that's going to hopefully match up to what Coach Rule wants. And you also have to be aware of TJ Lateef. It sounds like they have or want to commit to him in some form or fashion. So that takes up some portion of allotment and whatever goes to the quarterback room, unless somebody falls into your hands. That's a no-brainer. That most likely won't happen. So then you got to make sure, okay, who are we going to get to compete physically with Lateef? And you have to make sure that the competition, you can't have TJ Lateef making $500,000 and you go sign a quarterback for $2 million.
Say like Brendan Sorsby.
For $3 million. Sorsby's going to win no matter what.
Well, Lateef's probably going to dip.
Right. So
which you don't want.
You got to make sure there's some parallel, and TJ Lateef plays well Wednesday. That changes how you negotiate moving forward, or somewhat. Or you could use it as a negotiation ploy. And TJ Lateef obviously proved himself to some point to be a formidable player. Probably not the cemented starter, but a guy that's able to play his way, at times onto the field. So whoever's coming into competition or coming in to compete at the quarterback position, if TJ Lateef is here, it has the same questions as make sure that TJ Lateef is having the other way. So you have to be very good at handling your internal situation and externally, because one can affect the other. And if you don't handle them good, then you have no chance, because you're going to have two unhappy players both looking over their shoulder. Nobody knows where which way is up. Then you're going to have a competition that could divide the locker room. So you got to make sure you handle it, just the right way as possible.
Ben on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line was asking about that. Why not stick with TJ and develop him? Have we already seen his ceiling? Nebraska is, right? Nebraska is doing everything in its power to make sure TJ Lateef remains a Husker. But Jay, think about the state of the quarterback room for next season. Davila, gone. Gramstad, gone. Emergency backup, Heinrich Harburg, gone. Right now, your 2026 quarterback room is TJ Lateef and I think Bodie Suko.
Yeah.
You got to go get someone.
Yeah, you
anyone
might have to go get two. You might
maybe
have to get somebody that's is kind of like a Gramstad, that's going to be older guy that's maybe wants some tutelage and be there and be that like veteran presence and kind of be that coach on the field for TJ Lateef. So again, how you handle it is probably as important or maybe more important than who you get. Because if you don't handle it right, it doesn't matter who's in there.
Yeah.
So it's a huge deal. And, back to Dylan, he's probably looking at different situations and scenarios. And, he was connected to Oregon. So a lot, depends if Dante Moore's coming back. Does he want to have a Dante Moore year where you kind of learn behind him? Well, then that affects your paycheck. Well, you can bet on yourself and do that, knowing that you feel like you can gain the ground that you didn't get by playing. If everything's handled right, between the Oregon agency or franchise and Dylan as representatives, or do you go somewhere and want to get back on the field and try to maximize your, very short, opportunity?
I've always thought the Oregon stuff was more from the Raiola camp than the Oregon camp.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's fair.
Who does Oregon have behind Dante Moore?
I don't even know. I'll look up their roster real quick. But whether Moore stays or goes, it feels like that would be a really big step up for Dylan Raiola. Really, unless they think he's, right-handed Dylan Gabriel 2.0. Guy they've worked with, guy they've seen. In some ways, because
is Dante Moore a runner? He can run.
Throw on the move, but not a runner. Gabriel couldn't really do that. Nix was probably the best blend of that, but certainly not a run-first guy.
Yeah, I don't know who it comes from. I mean, they're not. Oregon's going to answer the phone anytime a former number one overall recruit calls, no matter the position.
Oregon's quarterback roster: Dante Moore, Luke Moga, Brock Thomas, Ryder Hayes, Akili Smith Jr., and Austin Novosad, and Mark Weipert. Novosad, one of the higher rated guys before.
Yeah.
And how about that, Jay? Akili Smith Jr. Think about that.
Yeah. Former baseball player.
Yeah.
Good dude, though. Really good dude. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where that's Dylan's business and, where he's going to go. You wish him the best. I think the best thing for him, you just take the mindset that I'm going to go and be the best I could be, and I'm going to prove myself right, and then at the same time, you prove everybody wrong. But you got to have some self-awareness of what you need to, and this is a great opportunity for him to mature. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the best thing you can make so much ground by actually listening and having self-reflection. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean anything that you did here was wrong. We're like, all right, you know what? I could see how that could be perceived. This maybe took away from my game. This is where I was perceiving things. Even how you maybe perceived how the games went. Go back and look, because you're going to have to go back and look at some of the things. Because I imagine coaches are going to be like, all right, this is what we think you need to improve on. Mm-hmm. No, okay, I would say as a player, why do you think that? Well, then now the lights go off and we flip the tape on. I've been in those conversations before with Reggie Herring had coached me for a while, his linebacker coach. Tom Olivadotti came in there. I think he wanted to met with him. I knew I wasn't going anywhere. I think I met with him for met for him like an hour. The first 10, 15 minutes, he asked about your family and all this stuff. And Then he coached at Miami at one point. My dad obviously went there. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, man, this is actually why I want you coming in here." He's like, "I got about 30 plays I think that we need to go." He's like, "I picked your 30 worst plays of the whole year." And I was like, I probably started 6 years in a row. He's like, "Yeah, but these are the 30 plays that we're going to go over. This is what I think you can improve on." If 30 minutes it sucked. Reverse this, and this. This is what we do. And you go from there. I was a sending player, so you got to really take it on the chops. I didn't like it when I got in the car, but by the time I got home, I was like, all right, well, shoot, he's going to be my coach. I'm going to be the player. I ain't changing nothing, so we got to figure it out. End up working itself out. So it's it's one of those things that, if Dylan, wherever he wants to go, he's going to, have to, because everybody's getting better, right? There's always guys coming in. There's always the next Dylan. There's always the next Jay Foreman. There's always the next Underwood, right? There's always going to be, there's Trey Taylor. Then after Trey Taylor, there's going to be somebody else. So it's always like, that's why you always got to stay ahead of the curve. That's why it's harder. It's easier to make it. It's harder to stay on top.
Yeah.
No matter where you're at.
To be fair, the next Jay Foreman is playing in the NBA right now, so he kind of missed his calling. But Old Dad 34 says, I say let the Dylan talk go. Put it to rest. He isn't a Cornhusker anymore. It's hard to do. That's a legacy, a guy that meant a lot to the program. And I think the handling of the situation, how Nebraska is able to move on, what Nebraska did with him, the way that Dylan Raiola was able to play at Nebraska, we can still learn plenty from the Dylan Raiola tenure. Whatever he does somewhere else isn't much of a reflection, if any, on Nebraska. We're not just talking about it just to gossip. There are legitimate things Nebraska can learn from what went right and what went wrong with Dylan Raiola in town, how it worked and how it didn't.
Yeah, I think you'll probably hear some stuff, both ends coming out, but I think the pettiness probably needs to go like to the wayside. It worked out for Nebraska, and probably not to where they wanted. He made 2 bowl games. It definitely worked out for Dylan. You came in and started as a freshman. You were able to kind of create your own path that way, which this was the only place that you were going to come in and start as a freshman at this type of university.
Right.
You got a lot of experience. Unfortunately, you got, just a freak accidental injury that derailed, obviously a big win under his belt and Nebraska's belt in USC. And then, the 3 weeks or 4 weeks, which is 3 games, it was 3 games, right? Or 4 games. It was 3 games in 4 weeks because you had a bye week. Then, that's when the noise started to immediately, it seemed. That's where the noise started and went from there. And then and that in itself is probably a learning tool for maybe both sides, but in particular maybe Dylan too. Because there's always going to be noise. So things can change fast. It's crazy. This isn't North Texas where they had that true freshman running back that is a heck of he's a baller. He's a Big Ten back down at North. I don't know how they found out. How do you get that kid at North Texas? Like, as a true freshman, just giving everybody work. Him jumping in the portal, being a starter, you understand it because he needs to level up, And so that's where, you got quarterbacks like Sorsby. You're like, all right, man, this whole offense is built around you. You dominate the Big 12. Like, where else do you need to go besides maybe a paycheck, right? Levitt. Like, Dillingham is probably he's an offensive dude. Now,
darn good coach.
Yeah. Okay, I get it if you go to LSU. Those are right. So now you got to figure out where you get in, where you fit in, man. Because you come January, it becomes November, like that.
Yeah.
So we shall see. We'll take a quick break. Come back. We'll talk about who needs to step up because games on Wednesday, so we're not going to talk about that. Tomorrow, maybe not. A little bit. This is probably the last day of any media availability. Obviously. We'll see if we have some audio, some quotes from there. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker women's hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, second segment? Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Las Vegas edition. Obviously, we hope to hear from Nick and Jake at some point in time outside of their regular radio time. That means they got work down in Vegas. But
Four guys got to be up at 4 a.m. Vegas time to do a show.
Jake?
Yeah. And Nick on Wednesday as well.
No, that's pregame.
No, they're doing early break on Wednesday.
Are they?
Yeah, Nick and Jake, 4 a.m. Vegas time.
So that means they're going to sleep until the game.
Probably.
Yeah. So that means they ain't working. Anyways, down in Vegas, there's obviously opportunities on the slots at the card table, in particular if you play 3-card poker. Tell them Jay Foreman sent you.
They'll know what that means.
Yeah, they'll know what that means. But also, there's a lot of opportunity for Utah as well. Obviously, you got a new coach. When they first got down to Vegas, I think Kyle Whittingham took another flight. He said, "Hey, I'll see you guys. See you when I see you." In Ann Arbor, you go down to Vegas. So it's the chance for him to get in the win column early in his career, obviously. And for Nebraska, we talked about, beating a ranked opponent, a team that's 2-touchdown favorite. I think 2-touchdown favorite,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, but give or take. Still well into 2-score favorite. And there's more importantly, the opportunity for players to, I don't know if they've redone their contracts, but to really establish themselves moving forward. For both, obviously, financially. Obviously, let's not be, stupid and act like the players aren't going to get paid, both financially, but then also security-wise is being able to, in this new coaching staff, and I think it's new because you add new coaches. So the dynamics is different, right? So it's the new Matt Rule. This is a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and it's even a new special teams coach, even though they are the same. The reason why it's the same, it's different, is because when you have new coaches, they all affect each other, all three phases. How does it affect special teams? Well, how I recruit or what I think I need as a defensive coordinator trickles down to the defensive backs, linebackers, edge guys that play special teams, not so much D tackles. That affects who's in the pool for special teams play. It doesn't affect Eckler being a great coach, but it affects who's in there. So this is a new staff because the ideas have changed. The eye for talent has changed, hopefully, or what you view as talent. And that's where, when you think of like who has a chance or who has to play well, both individually and obviously for Nebraska to win, defensively, right off the rip, this is a I would say a make or break game, but it's a great opportunity for Riley Van Poppel to jump out after, say like a sophomore slump or whatever, to really, in the 4-man front, everything coming out of practices, he's done well. This is a chance of a lifetime. If you want your phone to ring, both locally, which is by Nebraska staff, and nationally, being 6'5", 300 pounds, and you show that you can play well against a team like Utah, no matter who is out there playing, it bodes well for you both in the present and the future.
Yeah, Van Poppel's an absolute slam dunk guy on Wednesday. Cam Lenhart, what are you?
Yeah.
Are you just a guy? Are you going to be, they're still in the 3-3-5 instead of the 4-2 alignment for the most part. But, okay, what you got? You're a junior.
Yeah.
Next year's your senior year. You got one chance left. Show us that you're something.
Yeah.
Keona Davis, show that the rigmarole, the entering the portal and coming back was worth it for you and for Nebraska. Williams Nwaneri.
Yeah.
Build off the season you had. I thought he was pretty good all year, Jay. You highlighted him a couple times on Whiteboard Wednesdays. Here's another chance against a legit offense that was rolling up 50 pretty consistently in Big 12 play. Here's a chance for you to say, you know what? No, I did get more consistent. I did take a step during the bowl practices, and I'm here. I'm a force to be reckoned with next year. I'm on your all Big 10 preseason list because of how I look. I'm really curious to see too, Jay, in the middle. Who are the guys that are going to be plugging the gaps, right? Between the B gaps, everything there in the middle. Who's there for Nebraska? Sua Lefotu. You get a foot in the door to be one of those first guys for next year. Who steps up maybe alongside him? And then on the flip side of that, the offensive line. Pritchett playing, Justin Evans playing, and then a bunch of we'll see. Kanak had a cast or a club on his hand, had hand surgery or broke it or whatever. So let me ask you that, Jay. If you're a Nebraska fan or you're me and you're intrigued by the offensive and defensive lines, what's the best way to watch those positions from a TV broadcast during the game? What are you looking for?
Obviously, you want to see, them. I'm looking for them to reestablish the line of scrimmage. Obviously, the last two games, obviously Nebraska got moved off the ball pretty well. See if the change to the more commitment to the 4-man front, which I think what they've said coming out of, I guess, bowl prep or whatever, that they're going to, be a lot more 4-man front base. And some guys that switch positions. You're going to see Cam Linhart play a 4-3 defensive end. Keona Davis, some 4-3 defensive end. Are these at the positions that they get the most out of them, and how does that affect the play? And so, I think that's the most, that's the first thing I'm going to look at. And then I'm going to look at pad level, and then how many plays that do they make, and in conjunction with the second level. So I think you can see some noticeable improvement by the attention to detail and change of the front. It's not the fix, but you can see improvement. And that's what, and then also you got to think, okay, well, some of the things that Phil Snow said, in his press conference and what they didn't do during the season, does that look better? The tackling, the physicality, the playing hard, the playing together, knowing your assignment. More importantly, just as important as the communication. So all those things you'll see in how can I tell you to pick it out? You'll just know, they'll move different. You'll be like, man, that dude's moving. Look, nobody really is getting faster in 3 weeks. All right. Sure. They had a week off because you didn't know who you're playing. So nobody's getting faster or more, you know what I'm saying? Like in 2 weeks, nobody's going to go from like a 4.8 to a 4.5 legitimately in 2 weeks at this point in the season. But what you will see is more hats to the ball all game long. You will see the togetherness to the ball. You will see the defensive line getting off the ball and using their hands and all that. You'll see something consistently to the naked eye. And you'll see them finish plays and all that stuff. So, I think it's, I'm excited for them to go up against a good opponent. You have nothing to lose. You got everything to gain. And that's actually, for a team like this, a very young team, very immature team, a team that lost a lot of their maturity through whether you consider Dylan, mature or not, but he's been your starter for 2 years.
Yeah.
You lost him. You lost Singleton, who's not going to play, but he's still around. So you didn't really lose him, but you lose him on the field. So you lose the consistency and the maturity. You lose Rocco, who's consistently immature.
Latowski.
He's playing, right?
Maybe.
I think he's playing.
I haven't heard him for sure, but I hope so.
Playing.
Either way, if that's 3 or 5 starters playing good.
Right, but you lose your mature guys, and so you guys, some injuries on defense and so forth and so on. So, so this is where you're gonna, for a young immature team to go into a battle like this, you have nothing to lose. You're a 2-touchdown. Utah's a 2-touchdown favorite. So you talking about coming there and just throwing haymakers and just let it all hang out. This is actually, this is where you could be judged too harshly because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So you actually should play freer. Playing free doesn't mean you play stupid.
Right.
So playing free is going out there and letting it all hang out because you have nothing to lose.
Because you know what you're doing, you know how to do it.
Right.
Now go do it.
Right, because nobody has any expectations. Right, Vegas is already telling you that you should lose by 2 touchdowns or more. That's what they're telling you. Okay, cool. Well, let's go see. There's been upsets like that. We've seen it actually last year with Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan on the road, and then way more adverse conditions. You're playing in the game, national title implications, and all that stuff going on. So you can go do it. So the path has been paved before and walked. It's not an easy walk. Now I think it's a lot easier when you don't know anything. You have a lot of young guys that are trying to prove themselves. So trying to prove yourself playing on the road at Ohio State, this year's Ohio State team, or playing on the road at Indiana with this year's Indiana's team, or playing on the road, say they had to go play Texas Tech, that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're a young, immature team. Well, then you're like, that's hard because they're battling a lot of the like internal battle.
Right.
Now you're down in Vegas. It's a bowl game. You've kind of, ideally, I always say you like to beat that loss of Iowa out of you by the practice you've kind of forgotten about it because you've hopefully moved on to Utah. And now you got kind of new life. This is a new team. This is 2026 like preview, and you want to be a part of the main view in 2026. You have nothing to lose. If I'm out there playing, I'm playing. I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I know you would do that at linebacker. Great opportunity for those guys too.
Yeah, it is for Vincent Shavers to show some leadership. Is you got Watson Trent. It's his last game as a Husker. I think he's probably healthy now. Let's see if you are the guy that they got out of the portal. You got Bauer, who obviously through the spring earned a scholarship, and let's see, you've had a whole month to practice, right? Played some against Iowa, did some decent things, and we'll plug it up there. You playing against the number 2 rushing team in the nation. That's not changing.
No.
Okay. They are not going to, because Kyle Whittingham is in Ann Arbor. They are not changing who they are. They're going to try to line up and run it right at you, and they're going to just play action pass the RPO off of it just to see if you can tackle in space. So your second level got a lot of opportunity, and obviously with Javen Wright as well. And then, with Singleton being out, who is it going to be? You know what I'm saying? Is it Buford back in there? Do we see more of Caleb Benning?
Justin Rhett.
This is a big opportunity
Amir
for
Khan.
him. Amir Khan. And then also for my man 21. This is a great game for you to solidify yourself as taking that step from being a freshman to or playing like a freshman playing like, well, okay, look, I played 12 games. I had my ups and downs. I played some games and all that. Okay, this is what you're going to see on a consistent basis after me doing self-scouting and then obviously getting better at it in this last month.
Yeah.
I mean, there's questions everywhere. And I'm going to tell you, like, I remember Bruce Smith used to say said this one time. When you lose 2 games in the NFL, it's like the worst thing ever. You lose 1, it's horrible. 2, we were on a 2-game losing streak. He's like, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution, baby. That was his pregame speech. Like, let's go. And that's really what it is. You're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Ready, break. With that being said, we're going to take a break. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. B, that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman? Quick segment. Before we turn over, we got Tom Chattel tonight.
Yes, sir, we do.
Truth teller, boy. He's gonna say he's gonna keep it real. My man's been around. It's always good to listen to Mr. Chattel because he keeps it 100% real.
He must have wrote some really nice things about you back in college for you to say something like that.
He didn't. He's probably pretty fair.
Oh, yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I think one of the things that these modern day players struggle with that you have to understand, there's always going to be another one of you. Mm-hmm. You're good, right? Everybody's good, right? I mean, I think you have so you got the guys that got their names in the stadium, Dominic Raiola, Grant, Jason Peters should be up in there, Johnny Rogers, Larry Jacobson, Glover, and all those guys. And, you'll have some, Tommy Frazier, Eric Crouch, and all those. And then, Levante David needs to be up there, probably in college. I don't know. Maybe because he didn't win a major award, maybe not. But he probably right now, when you think about it, when thinking about Levante, I have a lot of confidence the way I was as a player, right? And I take pride in I was a way better pro based on because I was able to kind of show my whole thing. Where Levante, I think when you think about it, when you look at college and pros, he's the best linebacker that's ever played here. Period. Have no problem saying that. But he's actually one of the most humblest ones that ever played here. You would never know it. And that's where I think a lot of guys really struggle, that they can't get out of their own way. The funny thing is you could have a great year here, almost won the buckets and all this other stuff when I was here. But once you're done playing, that page is flipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you got to move on because people moved on from
right.
here.
And so, in about a day and a half, there's some guys that are going to be facing the reality of they might not never play football again. I was fortunate enough to play 9 years after that.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough. Now, that fortune was a byproduct of making a tremendous amount of sacrifice, way more than I made in college, right? And that's because you have to. You got to survive. But so for these guys, you asked about, what they're thinking about. That's crossing their mind. It crossed my mind. What if I don't get drafted? What if I don't get a shot? What if I get the training camp and don't get any reps and get cut? I got to go out here and ball till I fall. You know what I mean? And, there's no guarantee in sports. The only thing they guarantee is how you handle your business and how you approach it. So as we move on, we are officially a day away. The game date does not count, especially when you play at 2:30 in the afternoon. And it's prime time. There's no
that's noon Vegas time, by the way.
But there's no excuses. This is the time that these millennials like to play. So you better play. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you tomorrow.